7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck.
That's a day on the calendar. It's NBA trade deadline. It's something. You got the match play going on if you want to watch all day long and watch Bryson DeChambeau go down to the 64th seed in the field. You've got the NIT as well. What's up, y'all? Happy Thursday to you as you await the madness to resume this weekend in the NCAA tournament. The Masters 2 weeks away. Baseball season getting ready to start. We welcome you in to a Thursday morning on the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. What's good, man?
What it do? Good morning, yo.
Watch a little women's Final Four or women's Final Four. Women's carving down to the Sweet 16 yesterday. Big win for Oregon and Kelly Graves yesterday.
Yeah, good overtime game. Iowa State, Texas A&M. The tournament's been very intriguing. It's still very chalky, but you're starting to see moments where the depth, the talent is showing through. Had a couple teams win their first ever NCAA tournament game in the first round. It's been good watch overall. The game's good.
The A&M game, the way it ended was amazing. If you didn't see, it was a turnover, and the Texas A&M girl basically running down the lane and then throwing up a bank shot in the lane at the buzzer, and Texas A&M beat Iowa State to advance, and the emotion that goes with that. Kelly Graves, the former Lobo, coaching at Oregon. Big win for his program. They advanced the 6th seed over the 3 seed. They beat Georgia 57-50. So you got a lot of excitement there. And if the women's game isn't for you, you get the men's game tonight. Back at it with the NIT. They started with 32, so they are in the round of 16 at the NIT. Colorado State is a 1.5-point dog tonight. They will play North Carolina State. Boise State back at it out of the Mountain West. They play Penny Hardaway's Memphis Tigers. Memphis is a 4-point favorite in that. Those games are in Frisco and at North Texas and in Denton, and you'll be able to watch those games if you're jonesing for a little bit of basketball on the college side, and then you'll get all the NBA stuff. But interesting. It's kind of a big night. I mean, I don't want to say it's a huge night for the Mountain West, but I think it's important to some regard, not critical, that a team, if not both, advance and keep the Mountain West somewhat present in the postseason.
I agree with you. We look at the position that Colorado State and Boise State are in. Now, Boise State's 2 seed, Colorado State's a 1 seed. But still, to go against Memphis, Brand, Penny Hardaway, NC State, ACC team with a chance to advance to the semifinals, it's important. With as challenging as the NCAA tournament was, and specifically San Diego State, the Aztecs' performance, just to have a little bit of something in the postseason, because we have seen plenty of times teams that capitalize off a postseason run like this. And the team that you're looking at is Colorado State. Because if they bring all those guys back, then that's a top 2 team in the Mountain West next year.
Yeah, I think that's right. And what does it mean? That's why you hear coaches in a regular year talk about the experience that you get in a season like this, what it means, and to keep going. On the Memphis-Boise State game, there's a local piece if you're looking for it. I know many of you really like the name Cody Toppert. When we were having the conversation about the coaching search, which ended up with Richard Pitino, and of course Cody is a assistant coach on that Memphis roster. So, there he is right there. Yeah, well, that's him. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you watch. I'm going to watch the game for coaches, and Ivan Sanchez with Michigan go into the Sweet 16. But so there is a local piece for you if you're looking for a local tie-in there. But Memphis is talented. I thought maybe a little bit underachieving in the American this year, but always, and this year's not an exception. He's got a lot of talent on that roster.
Yeah, and Penny Hardaway and company's done a really good job, because last year it was all about the blue chips. You had Wiseman, who ended up being the #1 overall pick. He only played a couple games. Then he had that issue with moving, whatnot. Was he going to be eligible? He was out. Right. Prince Achiuwa, who ended up being a lottery pick for the Miami Heat last season. They were on last year's roster, and they didn't have that kind of flair on this year's team, but they're still a good basketball team, and I think that bodes well for Penny Hardaway and his staff, that there is an element of development, the guys that stuck around playing good basketball as well. And it's one of those alumni hires that sometimes we got caught up on it. We talked about it a lot here with Michael Cooper, some people bringing up Kenny Thomas, but then you also look at kind of what they were doing before that, and it was interesting staff. Penny Hardaway, of course, was coaching the high school game, trying to work his way up, and then the people that he put around him, looks like they got Memphis kind of back on a little bit of stability.
How do you feel about the overall? I was thinking about this the other day, and I wanted to get more detailed, but I didn't. And I think it was watching what Patrick Ewing has done at Georgetown. And now Patrick Ewing's coaching background, he was on NBA benches for a lot of years. He wasn't getting his chance at the NBA level to be a head coach, and finally it was his alma mater who gave it to him. Penny Hardaway feels like it's working. Obviously, it's working with Juwan Howard at Michigan, another guy who was on an NBA bench for a long time. Wayne Tinkle worked at Montana. That was his alma mater, and then he left Montana, and he's got Oregon State in the Sweet 16 now. I was trying to think of some that didn't work, and I guess I was struggling a little bit finding the big name alumni hires, bringing back your guy like Indiana was talking, or at least there was talk. I don't know if Indiana was talking, but there was talk, and there always has been with Steve Alford going back to Indiana. They feel like, and maybe because they're thought out and there's experience behind them, does anything come to your mind that didn't work as far as the basketball, bring back the big name alumni hire?
Why am I forgetting blanking? St. John's.
Chris Mullen. Okay, yeah,
absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah, that's because good. They're ones that you can't go down that well every time. I think that's why, is because they are kind of few and far between. I think, and a lot of times too, there's alumni hires, but it's not necessarily guys we know. It's not Patrick Ewing level players that are like great college players that have that kind of aura. Sometimes it's a Wayne Tinkle. I don't know who Wayne Tinkle was when he.
Well, they did in Montana,
Montana, but not nationally. Like so, there's plenty of people that would be thinking and would put Wayne Tinkle on that list. So because it's one that you have to pick and choose. You can't always just go the alumni hire thinking, oh, we need to win the press conference, because as you know, there's a lot more factors in that.
Yeah, look, Wayne Tinkle in Montana was around Missoula would have been a big name. It was probably a big deal when they brought him back. But to your point, what does that mean nationally? And I mean, the guy played in the CBA for a lot of years, and it didn't matter. But yeah, the Chris Mullen's a good example. Had he coached before?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Might have been right into it for him.
Because I'm thinking the situation here, and look, I told you when Richard Pitino hired, I think it's the right hire, but could Michael Cooper have worked? Could Kenny Thomas had worked? I'm not going to sit here and say absolutely not, and because I don't know. But I look more at Michael Cooper because he had coached. Now I know he doesn't have his degree, and so it's a moot conversation. I'm not telling you we need to rethink this here. This please. So that's not where I'm going. I just started getting into the alumni hire, and there's Penny. It seems like it's working. It's absolutely working at Michigan. It's starting to work at Georgetown. Now, I think there were a lot of questions at Georgetown until they went on this little run, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they did,
it wouldn't be feeling like it's working if they flame out in the first round of the Big East tournament.
Well, right, and they wouldn't have made the NCAA tournament if they didn't have their run in the Big East tournament. So it feels like it's working at Georgetown because A, they won, and B, there was so much around Patrick Ewing about him. Who are you? Could I see your badge, sir? It's my number hanging in the rafters. That whole conversation at Madison Square Garden. I'm just trying to go down the list, and I don't know. It'd be like Bobby Hurley going back to Duke. All right, Bobby Hurley feels like it's working at Arizona State. I mean, he's got them to a level now. They leveled off. There for a lot of former players who are good coaches, but when they go back home, does it work? And I'm just running the whole gamut through my mind, and I don't come up with a bunch of them, but is the sample size big enough? I'm not sure it is. Football, it feels like there's more football, doesn't it? More alumni at football. Rocky Long was here. Danny Gonzalez is here. You hear guys on not a regular basis, but a fairly regular basis that are coaching their alma mater in college football. And I think you have more of a sample size. I don't know. I'm not telling you there's a formula there. I was just thinking through it and wondering, does it work?
And the answer is yes, it can. But it's also not something you're necessarily going to do every time, because of who's available at specific time. It was the right person for the job, and it's also something that, like when Danny Gonzalez was hired, like that moment, it wouldn't feel the same if every single time you're hiring an alumni.
No, I think that's right.
And the
look,
challenge it also can present too if it doesn't work out.
yeah, Anthony Grant at Dayton. I say a lot of these you don't know. Laval Jordan at Butler. I didn't know that. So there's a bunch. You get one at James Madison at Detroit Mercy. Rodney Billups at Denver, which again I didn't know. Jamie Dixon I didn't realize was a TCU alum. Lamont Smith when he went back to USD. Remember that when the former Lobo assistant went back to coach his alma mater. All right, 505-246-0610 is how you get in today. 888-922-0610. Your emails come to us. It's Jeff at 610. No, that's Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Watch the show. ProView Networks. J-Pole is producing on the TV side. You can watch it on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. Micah produces on the radio side. Jerry Palm scheduled to be with us at 8:30 this morning. We'll talk to him from CBSSports.com on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Just getting started with
instead handed off and right through the gut. There's a bunch of space. Nice little hop there. Etrisco fans are on their feet, and for good reason, as that's a 41-yard touchdown. Jaden Cowley.
And 11 for the Tigers. Sherman will roll to his right. Throws on the down and out. Caught. Trying to go for the goal line. Leads it in. Touchdown. What a play.
Jaguars, the snap handed off to Cowley. The big man sweeps aside one, cutting back inside. He turns around the other direction. He's heading this way, and he's got to just beat one more, and he does. Touchdown.
Cover a ball. Barella in the serve. There's a dig. Boom, the kill shot. Number 6. I tell you what, man, Morgan Torres on the kill shot. 7 seconds left. People are stunned. There's just so much scoring on this game. Will the Hawks be able to respond with the big play? There's the fake on the right side. He's got an open field. Oh my gosh, and just like that, holy cow, amazing. Just like that, the Hawks score. Number 2, Caden Valdez on the right side.
Number on the punter. He'll pop this up. The man to receive it is also wearing number 3, Isaiah Garcia. He does catch it off the hop. Nice move by him. He's got some room out there on the right-hand side. He's got to get around his opposite number. He does. Gets one block in. He gets around the last guy. Can he get in? And there's the first points for the Manzano Monarchs. Isaiah Garcia all the way here from his own 45.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Pro.
Like when we're on the air, and I'd forgotten until late in the day the match play is going on PGA. The WGC Dell match play at the Austin Country Club. Your boy Bryson DeChambeau got beat by a dude I'd never. Look, I watch golf, right? It's at some point you hear of a new guy. I didn't know who Antoine Rosner or Rodnier or whatever. I don't know who he is. He's French. He was the 64th player in the field. This is a bracket tournament, right? They rank it. Kind of like March Madness, and he squeezed in just by winning the Qatar Masters a few weeks ago, and then he beat DeChambeau. I don't know if this is a big deal or not. You're a couple weeks away from the Masters. Guy like Rory got beat 6-5 by Ian Poulter. 6-5 is a rout. That means you're up. You're playing match play, so it's not stroke play. It doesn't matter what your overall. You're playing hole by hole by hole. If I beat you this hole, I'm 1 up. If you beat me the next hole, we're even. You beat me the next hole, I'm 1 down. And that meant Ian Poulter was up 6 holes with 5 to play. That's when, okay, thanks for coming. 6-5 over Rory McIlroy. Rory's got some work to do. His game is not good right now going into the Masters. I know a lot of people think he'll figure it out by then, but Justin Thomas got beat 3-2 by Matt Kuchar in the first round. So it's something to keep if you're looking for something while you're working during the day to put on. It's always a good watch.
The problem with Rory is he was trying to blame it on Bryson DeChambeau. He said that he was out there chasing distance. He wanted to be like Bryson. Well, first off, you were one of the first guys complaining about the way he was playing and how it had nothing to do with you. And then all of a sudden you're saying, well, I'm struggling because I was trying to do it like Bryson. What is it, man? Like, you get that dude out of your head, go play your game. If Lee Westwood can go toe-to-toe with Bryson DeChambeau, you ain't got to worry about hitting it as far as he does.
So there was a time, and it wasn't very long ago, where Dustin Johnson was ridiculously long. And by the way, he hasn't lost any length on his drivers, but he hit the ball ridiculously long, and then Bryson DeChambeau's come along. And Dustin, I was reading, I want to say yesterday, and I know I'm paraphrasing it, but he says, fine, I'm not chasing him. He says, I know when I'm playing my game, I can play with anybody on the planet. And I'm fine with my length and my game, and so and it feels like Dustin Johnson would be able to keep that guy out of his head, right? Because I wondered, you're one of the longest hitters on tour. You're one of the longest hitters in the world. You're one of the best players. And here comes this guy who is just shattering it, right? Just doing things just changing golf courses, taking different routes, just looking at things differently, doing things that the game wasn't meant to do. And Dustin Johnson says, that's fine, let him go do his thing. I'm good being me. Rory, to your point, on the other hand, is allowing DeChambeau really, really nice real estate inside his dome. And that may be, look, I've told you for years, I firmly believe this game at that level is 90% above the shoulders. I just firmly believe the top 75, 50 players in the world are separated talent-wise by such a slim margin that who's able to deal with the mental game wins a majority of the time. And that was, Tiger was above everybody physically, but just so far above everybody mentally. And the guys who are sharp mentally are going to win. And that's, where Phil Dustin Johnson is and where he's become. And Rory's struggling with that a little bit, I think, right now.
He is, and he has talent, to be that guy that's consistently there. I haven't quite seen it in recent history, and it's the DeChambeau thing. I get if you're asked the question about it. Oh, what do you think about his game? And you say that's cool, that's his game, but it's not the way I'm playing. And I think it's been a really intriguing thing for golf. It's something that I think the game has needed, because now all of a sudden we have this, some people are definitely going to be against DeChambeau, but I love the energy he brings. Like that final day with Lee Westwood was fantastic.
Yeah.
When he's bombing it over the water, going yeah, and then Lee Westwood is just hitting it into the fairway and yeah, and they're just going back and forth. You love that energy.
Well, that's part of what I love about this game so much, and I don't know that it's exclusive to golf. Styles make games, and you saw, and I think the perfect example of this would be Five Slamma Jamma against North Carolina State in '83, or Raleigh Massimino's Villanova team beating Georgetown in '85. You can have the big power hitter, right? You can have the DeChambeau, the Georgetown, the Five Slamma Jamma, so physically imposing and just what everybody comes to see. And then you could have the older guy, and in this case, what's Lee Westwood, 48 years old with his gray beard and his fiancée on his bag, playing the game a different way and still there at the end, being, that's Villanova, that's NC State, right? Styles make contests. Styles make the matchup, and that's why I love it, right? Because when you look at it, DeChambeau, you can say the young stud who's hitting the ball 140 yards, 150 yards past Lee Westwood's going to kill him. And there was Lee Westwood, stroke for stroke with him 2 weeks in a row. You see Lee Westwood, those two runner-up finishes, JJ, at Bay Hill and then at the Players. In those 2 weeks, won like $2.8 million.
Yeah,
for those two runner-up finishes. Yeah, I if he's giving his fiance 10%, she did okay too. She gets 10%. That's $280,000, right? For those 2 weeks. But it's good living. But it's there for you if you want it. That's what I love about it. I love the fact that you don't have to be DeChambeau, and you can hit it a lot shorter. And it's you guys will understand. You guys who play weekend hackers, you know who it's like. It's like you see the young guy come out and hit the ball a mile, and you play with these guys who play these public courses at Los Altos or Ladera or whatever, at Arroyo, and they hit the ball 180 yards off the tee, but they're between 11 and 1 o'clock every time. Their ball's in the fairway, and they just drive, hit the green, two-putt, and while you hit the ball a mile and we're looking for it, and you made bogey, they're putting for birdie and making par every single time. It's what it feels like to me. And that's why I love that game so much. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. You expect much of the trade deadline, NBA trade deadline today? Do you expect a lot? I hear a lot of noise. I hear the Kyle Lowry noise. I'm struggling thinking I believe it.
I do believe it. I think that will be the piece that moves, and it might not sound like a lot, but Kyle Lowry can absolutely push Philadelphia firmly into contender status in terms of the three teams at the top of the Eastern Conference getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, because it's Brooklyn, it's Philadelphia, it's Milwaukee. And it's Philadelphia lands Kyle Lowry. All of a sudden, Lowry, Simmons, Harris, Embiid, that's the second best team that could push Brooklyn Nets.
Well, I think at times I think they can push Brooklyn, and I look at Lowry, and I know that Harden's playing the point right now, but as far as control, he won a championship 2 years ago. With Kawhi, but he was a gigantic piece to that puzzle. I love his consistency. Now, I don't think I put him, I know I don't. As a scorer, I don't put him on the level with Harden or Kyrie. But to your point, the way Joel Embiid has been playing this year, the development, I think, of Simmons and what they've got in Harris, I look at Lowry as an addition. It's real easy to pick Brooklyn because those are three of the biggest names in the game. But you look what Doc Rivers is putting together there, and then I don't know how much I put it on coaching. I really don't when I get to that level. Would I give Doc Rivers an edge over Steve Nash? I guess because he's been there before, but he's lost a lot in the playoffs too. To me, this isn't even about coaching. That makes me really, really think Philly or Brooklyn.
Yeah, and Ben Simmons is actually in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Like, he has been phenomenal this year. There's no answer for Joel Embiid from anyone in the Eastern Conference, and they say the same thing. Well, who's stopping Kevin Durant? Where I'd like to see him back on the floor at some point in time. It's a little similar to the Lakers situation. You just say, all right, once you get all these guys back on the court, then it's going to work. But I'm just a little iffy with all the stuff that KD's been dealing with this season. Same thing with when it comes to Anthony Davis, with just 100% sure that these guys are going to be good to go for the stretch run. But that's a piece that, to your point, it might not wow a lot of people, but it's a move that Toronto has to make right now. Kyle Lowry is 34. They're not going anywhere this season, are the Raptors. They need to get a little bit out of him, and then you can move forward and say, all right, what do we got? Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam. See how that team looks in the coming years.
What are they getting back? Have you seen?
Well, Philadelphia does own a lot of their first-round picks for the next coming years, so you could probably just acquire some draft capital, even though it's not going to be great for Kyle Lowry, but you're not necessarily getting a fantastic deal in terms of lottery picks and high echelon talent for Lowry. So you try to get a couple of those things that you could then use potentially in future deals to navigate further down the road.
I got some more thoughts on the NBA. Brooklyn was in Utah last night, but were they? 505-246-0610 is how you get to us, 888-922-0610. Emails, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com, and we are going to talk college basketball. That's coming up at 8:30. Jerry Palm from CBS Sports will be with us, as he is every week in that slot. How's your vision? So do you wear glasses? Do you wear contacts? Have you ever thought about LASIK? If you have, I want you to go to the website and see what Coleman Vision has and talk to Stephen Coleman. If you have not, I want you to go there as well, because LASIK changed my life. I wore glasses since I was in high school. I wore lenses, and then when I was doing news and anchoring news and getting up at 4 in the morning and putting contacts in, I was miserable. And so I finally went and saw Dr. Stephen Coleman, and I was diagnosed with a pretty high degree of astigmatism, which was solvable with LASIK. And I got the LASIK surgery at 1 o'clock in the afternoon one day, opened my eyes shortly thereafter. The difference was immediate. The second I opened my eyes and looked across the room, it was stunning and life-changing how I could see. And then I anchored the news the next morning and haven't worn lenses since. Dr. Coleman is amazing. They've become family to me, but what they've done to change the lives of so many people in this state and people who come here for LASIK is breathtaking. Patients come from all over the country to get their LASIK done at Coleman Vision because they know that Dr. Coleman is in on working on the technology, the latest technology that's used around the country, around the world, and it's technology that originated at Sandia Labs here in New Mexico. If you're thinking about this, if you think you are a candidate, there's only one place to call, and that's Coleman Vision. If you're going to do something of this magnitude, get it done by the best. Go see Dr. Stephen Coleman. Go to Coleman Vision. You're gonna be amazed and really, really glad. And you can say thank you or well, just go out and enjoy it. 505-821-8880 is the number. 505-821-8880. Go to their website. It's colemanvision.com. Seeing is believing, and I sure believe.
wide open Jaden Phillips. Oh, he shattered him like dirty laundry into a hamper.
That was a Derrick Henry style stick.
Motion, there's Winnikoff. Lane, it looks like Winnikoff's wide open over here, but he's threatened on the play. That was Jaden Brown, and he's going to have to just chuck this one up, and that's a touchdown! Wow! I can't believe he was in position for that play.
So, things are looking good. They'll want to avoid Webskowski on the kick, but it gets to the 10. Or I beg your pardon. Now across the 50. That's going to be an opening house call. He's going all the way, and he's going to go untouched. 90 yards for Lujan, and that is a nightmare start for Clovis.
That young. Nice serve by Moore. Wow. Outstanding work. The middle blocker, Haley Areola.
Gomez again, the motion man. This one instead handed off. And right through the gut, there's a bunch of space. Nice little hop there. Etrisco fans are on their feet, and for good reason, as that's a 41-yard touchdown. Jaden Cowley.
And 11 for the Tigers. Thurman will roll to his right. Throws on the down and out. Caught. Trying to go for the goal line. Leads it in. Touchdown. What a play.
Jaguars, the snap handed off to Cowley. The big man sweeps aside one. Cutting back inside. He turns around the other direction. He's heading this way. And he's got to just beat one more. And he does. Touchdown.
Barella in the serve. There's the dig. Boom, the kill shot. Number 6. I tell you what, man. Morgan Torres on the kill shot. 7 seconds left. People are stunned. There's just so much scoring on this game. Will the Hawks be able to respond with the big play? There's a fake on the right side. He's got an open field. Oh my gosh, and just like that, holy cow, amazing. Just like that, the Hawks score. Number 2, Caden Valdez on the right side.
Intended to be. I know nobody cares. I mean, maybe I should be more concerned. Why does Utah have so many different uniforms and basically hit every single color of the rainbow in their color scheme? Do they have 2 different floors?
They do.
They run out. They match their color scheme, right? Yeah.
They do. A lot of teams are doing that these days with some of their city edition jerseys, and with what we've seen, it's incredibly frustrating if you're a fan at that game. But it's also one that I understand it. Like, Kevin Durant was going to be out anyway. He's out with injury. Kyrie Irving's missing 3 games this week due to a personal matter. And then James Harden was the one, as you're touching on, the DNP because of load management. I think it definitely is incredibly frustrating. And one of those situations that you don't think of, but it's the Houston Rockets. And I'm Steven Silas. This dude is getting torpedoed in what might be his only time to be a head coach in this league, because he takes over Houston. They trade James Harden. All right, you acquire John Wall and Victor Oladipo, and then you're resting these guys every other night. They're not playing on backs to backs. You went on a 20-game losing streak, and you're sitting here going, "This might be my only time ever to be a head coach," and it could be tanked because of load management in these situations. So I understand it. It is incredibly frustrating, but also for a team like the Brooklyn Nets, they're going to be on an extended playoff run. And if you don't see those guys, you said a Wednesday night in Salt Lake City, it's not their worry.
Yeah, I know this is get off my lawn stuff, and it shouldn't. As I was going through it in my head last night, I'm like, listen to you, old man. Why does it bother you? But it kind of does. Now, I almost want to give a pass this season I almost do, because it was such a short turnaround. Because they had such a short off season. Well, Jeff, they had 2.5 months off. Well, no, I get it, but it is physically demanding on your body. And the counter is, well, yeah, you're a professional athlete. You get paid stupid money to be a professional athlete, to go perform. You go to Vegas and you see a show that's demanding, and you don't see Donnie and Marie taking load management, taking Wednesday night off. They're doing their 7 nights in a row or whatever. So I struggle. Where's the line? To your point, what is Houston load managing for? They're managing for what? To save them from big injuries. Back in the day, and so bear with me for my whole thought on this, because this isn't just back in the day, well, my guy did this. The nutrition, the body management, the body care was not what it is today. And these guys are playing every day. And you weren't seeing the massive injuries at the rate I don't think that you are now. Now that you've got even better care, better nutrition, better maintenance, where's the fine line? Because if I'm an owner, I want my guy playing. I'm paying a person to go to work. Why does he get every other game off? Especially if I'm Houston. What are we managing for? So where is the line? I mean, I know it's here to stay. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm trying my best to understand it, and I understand it the best I think I'm going to be able to. But where's the fine line?
I'm going to say that last night was just unfortunate for you to tune in and watch that game, because it has not been as big of a problem this year overall with the Stars. Because look at the games played in the league. Dame Lillard's played every single game. Joel Embiid was playing every game until he hyperextended his knee. Giannis
LeBron plays every
41
night.
games played. So it stems back to really the Kawhi Leonard year, when he pretty much took every other day off, like 2 years ago with the Toronto Raptors. But they went on to win a championship. So who cares at that point in time? And that's the thing.
It validates it.
We're sitting here talking about championships and players showing up in the postseason, and that's where you say, all right, it worked for Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors. Last night watching the Nets could be really frustrating. I understand it. But overall this year, it's not as big of an issue as it was a couple years ago.
Yeah, no, when you win, it validates it. There's no doubt. And again, like I said, I think this year feels different to me anyway. And it's individuals, right? I mean, it's individual. Dame Lillard wants to play every night. LeBron wants to play every night. I know that it's not every night. And to your point, I think you're right. That was the game I watched, and I just, I'm just thinking, you're a season ticket holder. You pay what you pay, whatever it is. I don't know. What's the obligation, and to whom is the obligation? Is the obligation to oneself, to one's body, to taking care of you? And I'll go to Houston. What championship are they winning? What are they resting for?
They're resting just to make sure they're bad. But on the flip side, that means, are you going to give Steven Silas the opportunity to coach his team in 2 or 3 years? Or no, you're just going to say, well, he wasn't that good. Well, it's because you weren't playing Oladipo and John Wall in back-to-backs. Like, you're not going to win a championship this year, but I also think you probably wouldn't lose 20 straight games.
Yep. All right, Lakers in trouble? Because you know where I am. If Anthony Davis and LeBron are back, I don't care if they're the 7th seed or the 1 seed. I think they make a run. And I think LeBron's going to be back. For me, I think AD's the issue. Do you worry about them as far as health? And at what point do you feel they need to get everybody back to be healthy and make their run?
The Lakers are in trouble because I don't trust Anthony Davis. I think
that's
last
the issue,
year
right?
we saw the ceiling of Anthony Davis in the postseason. You got to avoid 8. You got to do whatever you can to not be the 8th seed. You don't want to be playing those playing games. It's the extra wear and tear on your body. So that's the one thing. If you come out of the 6th spot, whatever, 6th, 5th, so be it. But you don't want to be dropping down and then having to play those few extra games for the playoffs before you get into these series, because this is not a good team roster-wise, but it's a great team when you have LeBron James and AD.
The Lakers currently are in 4th. They're 4.5 games behind Utah, who's 1st, but they're also only 4.5 games in front of San Antonio, who's in 8th. And Memphis is right. I mean, it's bunched up as it always is. But I don't know if people have looked at the standings lately. But if you don't look at the standings, I'm going to go into any bar in America and drink for free if you can tell me in order the top 5 teams of the Western Conference. I'm drinking for free, don't you think?
Yeah.
Can you tell me right now the top 5 teams in the West in order?
Top 5 teams in the West in order?
Yeah, in order.
When you just said what the Lakers were.
In the current standings. So you know the Lakers are
4th. No, I'd say it's Utah, Clippers, and then after that
I'm drinking for free. It's Utah, Phoenix,
Suns.
That's where I'm drinking.
Yep.
Unless I'm in Arizona. But it's
don't
Utah,
realize how
Phoenix.
good that team is this year.
That's right. And that's the team who went into the bubble and went undefeated and didn't make the playoffs last year. But it's Utah, Phoenix, the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Nuggets. And Portland's a half game behind them. But yeah, you go in and say, I'll buy all night, or you buy all night. And you can go into an NBA city. I think for most of the time, you're. I mean, I wouldn't have got it. There's no way. I would have thought Phoenix was number 2. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Jerry Palm's coming up with us at the bottom of the hour, 8:30 in the morning. We'll talk college basketball with he from CBSSports.com. I want to talk a little bit about Lobo football quarterbacks as they go through the spring practice, and Danny saying, we're actively looking for a transfer, a graduate transfer. I want to get into that a little bit when we get back, and you can give your comments on that and send us some emails as well. I ask you who's watching your home on a regular basis, because property crime, as you know, is on the increase, and as the weather gets better, it never gets that always increases. I trust International Protective Service. IPS has watched my home for years. I know you see their vehicles around town. I suggest you give them a call before something bad happens. And I'm not telling you something's imminent, but you know what's going on in this town, and this is one of those things where it's like insurance. You know you need it, but you don't want to pay for it, and then something happens and it's too late. I called IPS years ago, and they're out every day, and they monitor the home. If you go on trips, and I think everybody's planning some sort of a trip coming out of whatever we've been going through, they will watch your home. They do exterior checks and pick up the newspaper and the mail, roll garbage cans to the curb and back on garbage day. Just give your home that lived-in look. And they're not for sale. IPS is not going anywhere. They are invested in this community, invested in your home and your business security. Call IPS, talk to them, let their highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols protect what is yours. Don't wait until something bad happens. IPS's number is 505-897-2420. That's 505-897-2420. You can visit them online and learn about them at ipsglobal.com.
If you're looking to hire, think.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today. If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Art Sandoval in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Meet Greg Shamus. He's a State Farm agent, which means he's here to help with all this. But it's easier to just remember he's here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Greg Shamus at 505-898-3648 today.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life
Football
path.
continues to go through spring practice inside yesterday. But was there a difference in time? I mean, you guys, you had nothing up there, right? West side, you guys, I mean, a little wind, but...
It was cold. That was about it.
Dude, it was a bleeping blizzard up here. Trees are uprooted in the heights. Over in that area like Montebon, Spain, Montebon Academy, that area, The pictures, J Pole's shaking his head because he saw trees were uprooted. Audra had a tree uprooted in her backyard. It was nuts. It was crazy around here, and you had nothing. No power outages.
Little bit of wind. It was chilly, and that was
Some
about it.
rain.
Yeah, all right. That's
That's
the beauty of
Albuquerque.
Spring in the Burke. Oh, I know.
Different on each side of the city.
Yeah. All right. Well, they went indoors yesterday. So Danny's talked about they're actively looking for a graduate transfer, and there's quarterbacks coming in, and you've got Isaiah Chavez and Connor Janal and Trey Hall coming back, and what do you do? I don't know what the portal looks like. I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert on that. It feels like this would be the year that they could really benefit from a graduate transfer, unless, I mean, do you feel comfortable? As great of a story as the Isaiah Chavez story is, and I know there's some of you who are out there listening and just going, bleep you, he's a local guy, give him a chance, and he's going to get a chance. I think he's 100% going to get a chance. Do you feel that they need to bring in somebody experienced who's won some games at some sort of a level? And you're saying, Jeff, Isaiah Chavez, he won 2 games. He came in and he won the Wyoming game, and then look what he did. You're right. I'm not taking anything from him. Nothing. I also know they've been through, 3-4 quarterbacks a year around here over the last bunch of years. But what do you make of Danny saying that outwardly? Because I'm fine with it, and I think he's right.
Yeah, it's something that he said back when they had the initial recruiting period this year, so it's not something that he's hiding. He's talked about wanting to add a veteran guy that has some D1 wins on his resume to this team, and what is, you mentioned those quarterbacks, Bear, Milichek
Yep.
is in
Yep.
here. They're expecting another guy, CJ Montez, to join
Montez.
in fall. So yeah, they have a lot of young guys in this program right now. And Trey Hall, just hasn't won at a high level, even though I like some of the physical characteristics that he brings to the position. But this is fascinating because it's Danny Gonzalez absolutely towing that line of, hey, you got to give us time. We're building it. We're going to get there. But also understanding you're not going to have a roster like this. You got the quote-unquote super seniors. So he's got some dudes that he can really rely on going to next season. And I really do think that he's waffling in this understanding, yeah, there's young guys who are going to have to develop, but that's probably not going to mean a lot of wins then next year versus, hey, if we can get a guy in at the quarterback position could actually come in and win this starting job right away, that changes expectations for next year.
Yeah, I think others are going to have super seniors too, and so everybody's expectations are going to be a little high. But to your point, what can we do? Can we compete for a bowl game next year?
Yeah.
Right? And is that we sat here and talked about patience and what do you expect and how much time are you going to give this staff? And I thought at the time, realistically, we're saying, you know what, in his third year, should they be able to compete for a bowl game, right? And that was fair. They had won 2 games the year before he got here, 2 games the year prior. The culture was not good. The roster was not good. And now here we are, and I don't know if it's realistic or not to say, should they compete for a bowl game? Well, look at their schedule. Should they be able to win 6 games, assuming a relatively normal season? I don't know. I mean, you figure they're certainly competitive against the opener, whoever, the FCS game in New Mexico State they're competitive with. Should they be competitive with Colorado State? And should they be? And you start looking through, and yeah, and quarterback's going to be the issue. With everything you talked about Milichek and Montez, and we talk about Trey Hall and Connor Janal and Isaiah Chavez, and there's still Brant Hughes and Tavaka Tuioti who are in the mix, and neither have been cleared. I mean, you could go into this thing with 7, 8 guys. You bring in a graduate transfer, that's 8 guys, and all of them who you feel have upside. I hear good things about Montez and Milichek. Well, I mean, Montez coach in high school loves him. Thinks he should be a Pac-12 guy. Maybe he should. I don't know. I've not seen him. 8's a lot of quarterbacks. Now I know you played 4 of them last year, or 5 of them. I'm sorry. 4 with Brant Hughes not playing. First of all, I guess, does the equation include Brant Hughes and Tavaka Tuioti?
At this time, it doesn't feel like it does.
Right?
And with those true freshmen, I think best case scenario, you'd like to redshirt them. But you just never know. As we saw Isaiah Chavez, QB5, come in there and have to play the final games of the season. And 2 of those 8, as of right now, we're talking about are not scholarship quarterbacks. And with Tavaka Tuioti not being cleared for spring ball, I think there's a serious question whether or not he's going to ever play football again at this level. And so that's why I think Danny is leaning towards experience. All right, you have Trey Hall, who's the upperclassman, but this guy who just unfortunately on the teams he's been on hasn't won. And that's really what I think Danny is looking to push this entire quarterback room that is ridiculously young forward, is bringing in an upperclassman that has a couple of victories under his belt.
And I'm okay with that. I am. You know, he loves what he's got at running back. He's pushing guys. Defensively, it feels like they got better. You trust him another year to Rocky Long scheme. I want to talk more about this as we come back, because I got a lot of feelings on quarterback, and have we seen the end of Tavaka as a player? Either way, let's say him and Hughes come back. They're both behind. They both missed spring. That doesn't mean they can't play. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us today. Jerry Palm at the bottom of the hour. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440. Extreme Clean.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Ashley Duran in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
it. Don't sweat the technique. This is the opening drive with two-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and J.J. Bach. Don't sweat the technique.
So we're talking a little Lobo football. I want to revisit a conversation real quick, JJ, we were having earlier. I asked you, and I know the audience turns over. We're talking about in college basketball coaches at their alma mater who've had success and who haven't. We were talking about Patrick Ewing and Penny Hardaway with Memphis playing tonight against Boise State in the NIT, who's had success, and Chris Mullen you brought up at St. John's who did not have success there, and how often does it work? And Jim Boeheim is a Syracuse alum, and Roy Williams at North Carolina having a lot of success. I didn't know Mick Cronin was a Cincinnati alum, although he didn't play there. So it's worked at a lot of places. Porter Moser, I guess, went to Loyola. I didn't know that.
I think it definitely does work, but I think then we have to have a distinction within it in going famous alumni. Because I don't know when you name some of these guys that they're necessarily the most famous alumni at school, like a Patrick Ewing or something along those lines.
No, I think there's levels. I think that's really fair. When Wayne Tinkle was at Montana, it might not have been a big deal for you and me or anybody else outside of Missoula, but it was a big deal to them. But they've hired another guy who their current coach is an alum, and he's won 20 games his first 2 seasons, first Montana coach to ever do that. You got alums at St. Francis and smaller schools all over the place. So UNC Asheville, I think. So it happens a lot. Look, there's no exacts, I think, is really what it comes down to. It's the bottom line is it's there's no exact to it. It's like anything else. You take a shot. If it fits, it fits, and if it doesn't, you probably don't make that higher. But I don't think there's an exact to it. All right, I want to finish up on the Lobo quarterback situation. Lobo Hobo said it sure feels to me, Jeffrey, like we've seen the last of Hughes and Tavaka. We haven't really seen much of Hughes, have we? He played one game, opened the season 2 years ago, and hurt his shoulder. And yeah, it feels like that's the one we never saw. Does it feel that way to you? He won a job. He got hurt. Hasn't played. Continued to get hurt. Like I feel for that guy, but that feels to me like the career that never happened.
It absolutely is a career that never happened because he had 2 quarters of football and then he's had multiple shoulder injuries after it.
But I mean, as far as what could have been, right? I don't know. I don't know. Tavaka feels like I agree with Lobo Hobo on the Tavaka thing, and it just he suffered a concussion. What, in October? November, December, January, February, March is almost over, and he hasn't been cleared yet. I mean, even if he gets cleared, health-wise for that young man's future, do you go out there and do it again?
It's a hard conversation to have. Because
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
This potentially being the last opportunity that he's going to play competitive football at this type of level. But then you also have to look at the future. And Danny Gonzalez has been open about that. And having to have that tough conversation with Tavaka and balance it. But if he's not cleared now, it's going to be really tough to see him coming back for fall. And here's the thing, too. When you necessarily aren't going to bring in a dude that's probably won a lot of games, because then he wouldn't necessarily be available. But there's the transfer portal is stacked with quarterbacks right now. Now, that few have already made their decision, but they're guys from big programs that might not have really been able to take off, but there's a lot of intriguing options out there. And I'm sure that Danny and his staff, Derek Wareheim, have had those conversations. I've looked at it, and he mentioned in Steve Virgin's article from practice yesterday that they'll keep an eye out after these spring practices to see if any more hit. And I get it. It's wanting to have that upperclassman presence, because with the uncertainty of Tavaka, it's Trey Hall. Like, he's at this point in time, your most experienced quarterback. Unfortunately, Trey Hall hasn't been a part of a lot of winning at this point in time in the program. And then you're counting on, well, a sophomore QB5, 2 true freshmen after that, another non-scholarship player coming back from injury, and Connor Janal. So I absolutely understand that. Or, yeah, you want to talk about development and continue to build the program forward, but also might see an opportunity to take a little quicker jump this season, just with what the roster looks like, if you can bring in a guy that can really come in and take over right away.
Have you looked at the transfer portal for quarterbacks? Have you kind of got in there and looked? It's insane how many guys there are. And there's a lot of question marks with players and guys just moving all over the place. Oklahoma to SMU, UCF to Florida State, Washington to UCLA, Wisconsin to Notre Dame, South Carolina to Northwestern, Arizona to Memphis, Oregon to Texas Tech, Texas Tech to Michigan, Virginia Tech to, I mean, it goes on and on and on. And there's a lot of guys, that have question marks that haven't decided yet. So there's recruitment going on. You see, here's a guy, he's looking at 25 schools recruiting him, 24 recruiting this guy. I mean, it's North Texas got a quarterback from Carolina. Texas State got one from NC State. So, yeah, it's as I'm looking through it, I don't know that I'd ever really gone through this and just – there's two guys from Cal that are out there right now still looking for a place to play. So, your point's not wrong. There's a lot in there. What fits, what's right, with whom do you have a relation? And to Danny's point, he said he's looking for a grad transfer. But, JJ, what are the rules going to be? And this is where I wish the NCAA would let these coaches know. Was that a one-time COVID year you can play right away? Or is that going to be a carryover this year? Because I think it makes it a total different market.
Well, that's why he said grad transfer. Because grad transfer, you're immediately eligible regardless.
But you only get them 1 year. But yes. Yeah, all of that's right. So I think, gosh, I'm still thumbing through this thing. It's stunning to me how many guys are in the transfer portal and how many guys are looking for a place to play. Do you ever think about being a coach and recruiting, like how unexact that science is, and like so many players, but can you imagine keeping track of recruits and players and classes all over the country, or at least all within your region or where it is? Recruiting is got to be just mind-boggling when you get down to the science of it.
Spreadsheets. That's why you hear so much, coaches talking about the transfer portal. This thing has saved their life because the kids just put their name in it, and you can just open it up and scroll down
and look at video. And then you make a call because you're 2 degrees separated from everybody in this business anyway. And if he played at Fresno State, or he played at Coastal Carolina, or he played at UMass, somebody on that staff, or somebody who knows somebody on that staff, right? You're 2 degrees separated. You make a call. Hey, tell me about this kid, right? And you're gonna have probably a candid conversation and get the plus and the minus on it. But it's just got to be mind-boggling how many, especially in football. Basketball's crazy in its own right because AAU tournaments, and you're going and bouncing and watching video. And football, you got 100 guys on a roster. I mean, tell me about this kid who's leaving Memphis who just transferred to Texas State. Well, how about the kid there's a quarterback that left Western Kentucky? He's got good size. What about him? What about the Salazar kid who left San Diego State? Right? Rocky should know about him. Somebody will. It boggles the mind. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails are Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Keep them coming. We're going to talk to Jerry Palm, talk college basketball, coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Well, if you want to be ready to hit the transfer portal, be your best self, let me tell you about F45 training. F45 training is high-intensity training, circuit training, and 45-minute classes. F45 training is a great place if you're looking to kickstart your fitness or challenge yourself to get to another level. And let me tell you, I'm going to be challenging myself. They have a 45-day challenge starting this weekend, which I am a part of. So you're going to get to see if I'm going to be able to back up what I am telling y'all about F45, because this gym is for real. They do multiple challenges throughout the year, so if you can't make it for this one, sign up if you're looking for the extra accountability and get ready for the next challenge, because I definitely need it right now. We're talking meal planning, daily nutrition, coaches that can help you with your extra motivation. Yes, some prizes at the end for your success. F45training.com, F45 app. Check it out so you can take a look at the classes. It's new classes every single day to keep your mind and body moving forward. Classes are 7 days a week, so it can fit your schedule. So why not sign up for that 7-day free trial? Get in there and check it out. The gym is located at 5920 Holly, Northeast Paseo and I-25. Good access from wherever you're coming from in the city. They clean the gym before and after each class. You have some sanitizing wipes with you during class to quickly wipe down some of the equipment you're using. But it's not a lot of wasted time. You're going to feel comfortable. You're going to be able to focus on your workout, like I said, in a 45-minute period. It is really good. In out a fantastic workout. So check them out, f45training.com. Download the F45 app. Team training, life changing. I'll see you at F45.
Staples has the technology, furniture, and supplies you need all at
Wide open, Jaden Phillips. Oh, he shattered him like dirty laundry into a hamper.
That was a Derrick Henry style stiff
Motion, there's Winnikoff. Lane, it looks like Winnikoff's wide open over here, but he's threatened on the play. That was Jaden Brown, and he's going to have to just chuck this one up, and that's a touchdown! Wow! I can't believe he was in position for that play.
So, things are looking good. They'll want to avoid Webskowski on the kick, but it gets to the 10. Or I beg your pardon. Now across the 50. That's going to be an opening house call. He's going all the way, and he's going to go untouched. 90 yards for Lujan, and that is a nightmare start for Clovis.
That young.
Nice serve by Moore. Wow. Outstanding work. The middle blocker, Haley Areola.
Gomez again, the motion man. This one instead handed off. And right through the gut, there's a bunch of space. Nice little hop there. Etrisco fans are on their feet, and for good reason, as that's a 41-yard touchdown. Jaden Cowley.
And 11 for the Tigers. Sherman will roll to his right. Throws on the down and out. Caught. Trying to go for the goal line. Leads it in. Touchdown. What a play.
Jaguars, the snap handed off to Cowley. The big man sweeps the side one, cutting back inside. He turns around the other direction. He's heading this way, and he's got to just beat one more, and he does. Touchdown.
A lot of talk about our pending change here on this show with our producer, with Micah, moving up the corporate ladder and, well, ditching us. Tellis says, new OD producer, Jeff, can the OD recruit a freshman and wait a couple years for them to develop? Or does the OD need a grad transfer who can come in and contribute right away? JJ, not that you and I have a damn say, I don't think, in this. But I mean, I don't know. Do we need an alumni? Do we need somebody who's a big famous big name alum, or can we bring someone in? I mean, usually when things are going well, you've got a little bit more leeway. I think where things are going well. I mean, I don't know what the hell do I know, but how do you replace that guy?
My first thought would be got to go grad transfer. Got to get someone in here to pick it up, keep it going. But then you also don't want to shut the door on potential talent, up-and-comers, and development. And I think we're in a really good spot to take a chance and to be able to have someone come in and pick up where Micah left off. But right now I'm just on to Cincinnati, and that's my focus.
No, I'm on to Cincinnati. Dan says, new producer candidate Jeffrey Juan Jose and departing Micah John. I think the award-winning OD needs to open up the checkbook and lure Bobcat away from the house. I don't know. I mean, it's a big checkbook. I'm not sure, it's a big checkbook.
We might have some more salary cap restrictions than you realize.
Dan says, Jeffrey, is Dan, yeah, it's the same. How did he sign this last one? Oh, it was Dan. And then he also said, I've lost track of all the producers the OD has had since I've been listening. Yeah, he listed 7. 1, Julia. So Skip was before that, right? And there had to be someone before Skip. I mean, between Skip and Julia. It was you.
Yeah, there's Skip, Joe, me.
Well, you were produced. Because it was, you were in that room for a long time, even though you were co-host. It was Julia, William Jefferson, who was here for a cup of coffee circa 2012. Wow. Bernie Jean, Emla, Michael. There was the guy that lasted like a week before going on the IR, never to be seen again, Benny. Hoser, Micah. Feels like they're forgetting a few in there, doesn't it? I mean, certainly Skip and you, or he's forgotten. It's a hell of a list.
So do we have a producer tree now?
We do, huh? We got people in state government. We got people all over the place, huh? Yeah.
Hire from the tree.
Well, who is it? I mean, who's your candidate then, Micah?
I got no one directly off of me yet.
Crazy, man. Glenn says, doesn't the calendar say it's April 1st? Or at least a week away? Why does my thermometer thingy read 25 flipping degrees right now? Because it's cold, man. Why are you asking me these questions? Call Ronchetti. Call Joe Diaz. I mean, what the hell? I did weather once, man. I mean, I don't know. Why?
Answer the questions, Jeff. We need to know about quarterbacks and the weather.
Yeah, it's cold. That's why. I mean, the child's upstairs trying to find a beanie and gloves to go. She's got a run because the state meet is tomorrow, and she's meeting her team at 9 o'clock. Like that, yesterday had to suck. I was talking to somebody who their power went out. They're up in her child goes to La Cueva, and she's like, "Yeah, at 6 o'clock this morning, I had to pull the lever and lift the garage door, and that wasn't bad because my kid had to go out and La Cueva had football practice at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Like that had to be miserable yesterday. There's no way. Like
7 o'clock football practice in the sleet does stink.
Yeah, and that wind and that snow,
in the moment
and that
it
misery.
stinks. Like you don't care how tough it's gonna make you. Oh, 10 years from now you're gonna look back and now you're gonna be able to handle every challenge in your life. Okay, but in the moment it's terrible.
Yeah, that there's nothing. It's like when you're soaking wet and outside freezing, and later on, I was freezing. When you're in the moment, nothing's worse than that. It'll make you tough.
And everything on a football uniform is nice and thin, so you got nothing thick unless you got like a hoodie underneath.
And it's all clinging to your body.
Ugh.
Make it tough, man. They got a good game.
Takes me back.
It's La Cueva El Dorado on Friday. Jay Pohl, Josh, who's doing that game? One of you guys. I'm sure that'll be a ProView Networks game. No.
I don't think they're paying attention to us right now.
Yeah, they don't. Look at it. They must look grumpy today.
Did you see all the stuff they were doing last night? Woo! ProView's got you
forgot
covered.
to get breakfast this morning.
Yeah, no, I saw them eating breakfast. Why are you guys so grumpy? Who's got the La Cueva El Dorado game this weekend? That's a big deal, isn't it? Up in the on the ProView Networks. He didn't know.
It's like, I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, I'll figure that out. Anyway, it's just the fact that they're playing is a big deal. But, yeah, Glenn, why does your thermometer thingy read 26 or 25 flipping degrees? Because it's cold, man. That's why. I don't know what to tell you.
Sometimes you just keep it simple. All right, let's check on weather. It's cold. All right, back to you.
Yeah, wear a jacket, layer up, get a beanie, and yeah, it's chilly out. So... yeah. All right. 246-0610, 888-922-0610. I was just looking at my TV. Is this a real thing? The headline was, would Kyle Lowry make the Lakers the team to beat? Is Kyle Lowry to the Lakers a real conversation?
Apparently, it is picking up a little bit of steam, and you're like, all right, what 2038 first-round pick do the Lakers have left to send it to the Toronto Raptors? What piece are you giving up? Is it Horton Tucker and a first-round pick in 8 years to get Kyle Lowry? I think Kyle Lowry is the perfect addition right now to a upper echelon playoff team. I think if you're Philadelphia, you 100% make that move because it solidifies your entire rotation. You already have the depth players, which you're going to need. Seth Curry, Shake Milton is a big-time shot, but you got your stars. You're set. If the Lakers could pull that off, that would be fantastic because then all of a sudden you're telling me, all right, I can get Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Lowry in that backcourt, KCP with his defensive
What's it going to cost him?
presence.
It's got to cost him something, doesn't it? I mean, one of those pieces you just said has got to. It's got to be in the price, doesn't it? Something. I mean, they're not giving him for free, right?
Not for free. It's not the most expensive player, but it still ain't free.
Well, I mean, I look at what Rondo did for them in the playoffs last year, and I'm not certain I think Schroeder does that for them. And I get it. He does things that Rondo doesn't. But if you're, and this is all with Anthony Davis back in the lineup. But, I mean, you put Kyle out, wherever he goes to me, I think if it's one of those two, kind of makes me feel like that's a favorite anyway, if not the favorite. Do I think Philly with Kyle Lowry added to that roster makes them a favorite over the Nets or the Lakers? Man, I put him right there. I put him right with them.
Kyle Lowry on Philadelphia means I'm picking them to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think that's the team that will go head to head with the Brooklyn Nets.
You like them better than
I love Giannis. I think the dude is unbelievable. But there's a hurdle for them in the postseason that they haven't been able to get over. And it's not just Giannis shooting threes. Like, he doesn't have to shoot threes to be a great player. You can still dominate inside. They call him the Greek Freak for a reason. He's unbelievable. You can't stop that man. But if you start nitpicking, which you're going to do at the highest level between these teams, if you're telling me that, all right, it's Ben Simmons, it's Kyle Lowry, it's Tobias Harris, it's Embiid, and then it's Seth Curry or Shake Milton, one of those pieces, versus Giannis, Middleton, and Drew Holiday, and then you're left with Pat Connaughton, PJ Tucker. Like, I'm taking the Philadelphia 76ers. I think that is definitely a piece which solidifies you atop a team like Milwaukee. They're really good basketball teams. But Kyle Lowry's a game changer because he's been there, done that, to your point. Like, he's a better player than Rajon Rondo. He's a better player than those other guys. Played at the highest level, still can shoot very well from the perimeter. He's a point guard, so unless he takes care of the basketball, you can count on him day in and day out. It's a fantastic move.
He won a championship 2 seasons ago. It was a key cog in winning a championship 2 seasons ago. I got no reason to trust Milwaukee. None. I've seen playoff Milwaukee. Playoff Rondo's a thing, so are the playoff Bucks. One's really good, one's not so good. Right? I've no, and especially now with those other two teams in that division, in that conference, who've gotten better. I mean, and I don't even care what regular season Milwaukee looks like. If you're going to give me, a 3-game series, let alone a 7, and ask me, do I like the Nets or Milwaukee? Easy choice for me. You're going to put Kyle Lowry on Philadelphia and ask me which one I like better in a 7-game series? It's an easy choice for me. And granted, they haven't done it either. But you know what? They damn near did it against Toronto. It was a bounce of Kawhi Leonard's ball falling. I mean, right? That great shot that Kawhi beat him.
Toronto took them both out. Toronto took Philadelphia out and then Milwaukee out in that run.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's not even close. So, all right, we're going to talk college basketball next. Jerry Palm from CBS Sports is going to be with us, and we're going to talk to him about the Sweet 16 and moving forward. I'm going to tell you about Coleman Vision and why so many people during the pandemic have opted into LASIK. They've had flexible schedules. There's been some flexible economy. They are tired of glasses fogging up. You're wearing masks all the time, and people just sort of explore the technology. And then there's the long-term benefits. First of all, the beauty of being able to see. I can't even explain to you the difference. If you've worn lenses your whole life just to see far, you drive at night just to look across the room, watch your kid play. I had LASIK, and all of that changed like that when I opened my eyes. And back then I was anchoring the news, and all of a sudden I was anchoring, reading the teleprompter without lenses. And then there's a long-term cost benefits. You're saving money on lenses and solution and glasses and checkups and all of those things. The place to do it is Coleman Vision. Dr. Stephen Coleman is the leader when it comes to this industry. What do I mean by that? He is involved in developing and testing current technology, which he uses, but it's used all over the country, all over the world. And that is why patients come from all over the country to have their LASIK done at Coleman Vision, because they know of his reputation, the fact that he's been in private practice specializing in LASIK his entire career. So who does this? Everybody, firefighters, college kids, police officers, athletes, nurses, you, me, everybody. If you're thinking about LASIK, you're thinking that you would benefit from this, there's one place to go, and that's Coleman Vision. Call Dr. Stephen Coleman's office, get an appointment, go in, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The second you walk in the office, you're going to realize, oh, damn, this is different. ColemanVision.com. That's the website. Go look at them. Give them a call, make an appointment, 505-821-8880. That's 821-8880. Seeing is believing. I sure as heck believe.
Barella on the serve. That's a dig.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work.
Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marielena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Art Sandoval in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back at it on Saturday with the Sweet 16. You'll hear the games here on your home for the college basketball NCAA tournament in the Final Four, and also all the way through the championship game, the Sports Animal. Oregon State Loyola is the first game, 12:40 tip-off on Saturday. That's our time. Villanova Baylor, Oral Roberts, Arkansas, and Syracuse and Houston, just as you had it in your brackets. Opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Let's catch up with the chief bracketologist and chief, just all-around stallion over at CBSSports.com. Jerry Palm joins us on the opening drive. Your brackets, I'm sure, have everything looking just like this, right? This is what you predicted. How you doing?
Well, boy, is that a load. No. Yeah. My bracket looks like everybody else's, which is, a complete unmitigated disaster. In fact, I think I could file for federal disaster relief for my bracket because it's that bad.
Yeah, the Midwest especially, right? Everybody's jacked up in the Midwest. Actually, the left side of my bracket doesn't look bad. It's that bright side in the bottom right, especially. Let's just start with the Oral Roberts thing and the fact that you had a 14 and a 15 and so many lower seeds winning, but Oral Roberts getting to this point. Only one other team has done it before. Stunning is a fair word. Who they beat is legitimate, and here they go into another big game. But to get through Ohio State and Florida, it's a hell of an accomplishment for that little school down in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and they had to come back on Florida. They led Ohio State the whole way. Obviously, Ohio State was able to force overtime, but that Florida led most of the second half, if I remember correctly, and Oral Roberts came back on them. So that's a pretty good accomplishment for this little school. A team that finished fourth in the Summit League and then won their conference tournament. They've got the leading scorer in the nation, Naismith, and O'Banner's been really good. How far they can go from here remains to be seen, but the teams are 15 seeds for a reason, right? So eventually they're going to regress to playing like a 15 seed, and somebody's going to bounce them out of here. And that might very well be Arkansas.
I've heard calls, and I don't think it's a big call. Every team should be in the NCAA tournament. Every team is, right? Every team's got a conference tournament, and
right.
That's what these things are. And you just talked about a team that finished fourth in their league, and here they are in the Sweet 16. And I'll give you a team that finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in their league, and here they are, and that's Oregon State and the run that they're on.
Yeah.
I think everybody's got that opportunity
in their league tournament. Oregon State was a 5 seed. In their conference tournament. You're right. And UCLA, who didn't win their conference tournament and got in as an at-large, lost 4 in a row to end the season and They got in and they've won a few games now. So it's just, that's the nature of the beast, right? It's why you can't make, it's just among the reasons why you can't really make grand pronouncements about teams and conferences based on 2 games in March when they've had 4 months to prove themselves and show what they are. Because March is a crapshoot. It's about matchups and energy levels and just how you play that particular day. And it's sometimes it's just not your day.
I think the Big Ten and the Mountain West both raised a glass to you and said, "Amen."
Well, I say that every year. That's just something I have to remind people of every year. You cannot base an entire season evaluation on 2 games. Or 1 game. You just can't. It's just how this went. The Big Ten got 9 teams in the field for the top 8, a 4 seed, and face planted. There's just there's no getting around it. That doesn't mean that the league was overrated or that they're bad, or it just means that they had a bad tournament. And and they've definitely had a bad tournament. Michigan sticks around in the Sweet 16. Rutgers and Maryland each won a game as 10 seeds. Maryland was actually supposed to be a 9, but got swapped out because there was no room for them in that half of the bracket with the other Big Ten teams there. And then Rutgers coughed up should still be in the Sweet 16 themselves, but gave away the game against Houston.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's no excuse really for Iowa not playing defense, all except that's kind of what we saw from them all year. And Illinois getting flustered by Loyola, they should have been able to deal with that, and they didn't. And Ohio State was a no-show against Oral Roberts. They were flat most of that game. That never matched their energy really, Oral Roberts' energy and intensity. And what are you going to do? I mean, Purdue had as it turns out, a tough matchup with a veteran team. And they're the youngest team in the tournament. Purdue was. So what are you going to do? That's just the way it is.
Well, as you lay all that out, Jerry, let's go to who is the most disappointing team in the NCAA tournament. Who had the worst
Ohio
team?
State. And then right behind them, Illinois. Or did you have someone else in mind?
He did.
Well, we, of course, just in this neck of the woods, we've been talking a lot about San Diego State and just how bad they looked that entire game.
Yeah, well, but Syracuse has got a guy that can really shoot, and he's hot. And we've seen that a lot, that where guys come into the tournament and they're hot, and they ride that hot hand a couple or 3 games into this tournament. In the case of Kemba Walker, 6 games. I'm not saying Buddy Boeheim is Kemba Walker. That's what's going on with Syracuse right now. They were going to go as far as Buddy Boeheim could shoot them, and so far he's been able to shoot them into the Sweet 16. And San Diego State just got in the way of that. But to say that San Diego State, obviously disappointing for them for sure, and they were probably slightly overseeded as a 6, but that's not why they lost. They just they ran into a guy who's hot, and that's what happens sometimes.
What do you think of the Pac-12's run through the tournament so far?
Well, it's they're good. They're getting a lot of respect for that, and deservedly so. It doesn't mean that the Pac-12 had a great year, but they're sure having a great tournament. And USC looks very good. What they did to Kansas is something you hardly ever see. Evan Mobley, of course, a great player. You kind of wonder where this USC team has been all year. But it's, a great run for them. Oregon, of course, didn't have to play their first game because they were the beneficiary of the one team that had to bow out due to COVID. I don't know if that mattered or not. I just think Iowa's inability to play defense was a bigger factor. But they're there. Oregon State's there. UCLA is there. They've had to win 3 games to get where they are. UCLA was probably the least predictable of those because they were just limping so badly into the tournament. But I guess it kind of goes to show, that you don't. Everybody says you want to go with the hot team in the tournament. The hot team going into the tournament. It's not always the case that the hot team is the one you want.
Jerry Palm from CBSSports.com is with us. It's funny you mentioned the Kemba Walker thing with in relation to Buddy Boeheim. Kawhi Leonard's San Diego State team got knocked out in the Sweet 16 by Kemba Walker on his way to the NCAA championship in a close game in Anaheim. You run into a guy like that, and
It happens sometimes. It's not an every year thing, clearly.
No.
But, every once in a while, you just got that guy that nobody can stop.
Yeah. Did you feel Loyola was underseeded going in?
No, I thought they were overseeded, if anything.
Did you?
That's as high as you could reasonably seed Loyola. I thought they were more of a 9, or I think I had them as a 9 in my bracket, or I might have had them as a 10. I don't know. They were like 36, 37, that neighborhood for me, the 9-10 line. They had 2 wins over Drake. That's it. They lost by 14 to Wisconsin, who was a 9. They lost to Richmond. I mean, they had a great record, and they're a great defensive team, but I don't see how you could seed them any higher than 8 based on what they did in the regular season. Just who did they beat? Nobody. Drake, the last team in, twice out of 3.
You talk about the inexact science, right? You said UCLA was limping coming in, and here they are. Georgetown was on such a roll. They got run out of the building. Creighton got blown out by Georgetown, and here's Creighton in the Final Four. And so that's why I think Sweet 16. I apologize. And they're not getting there. They're running into Gonzaga. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, right.
But my point is, and really where you're going, it's the body of work, right? I thought Creighton was going to make this run to the Sweet 16 just because I wasn't judging them just on the Georgetown game. Now, I thought Georgetown was going to go further. But it's so inexact.
I actually kind of picked against Creighton because I didn't trust them. I picked, and they almost lost. I mean, it was the last-second shot. Not a great last-second shot, but they lost. They won at the end of that game. They could have lost to Santa Barbara, but that it's a team that's got a couple of pretty good wins, and lost to the 5 worst teams in their league, 3 of them at home. So you just don't know what you're going to get from Creighton. But they escaped their first game. They got Ohio in the second game instead of Virginia. Took advantage of that, and here they are.
Jerry, what game do you like the most this weekend?
Florida State, Michigan. I think that should be fun. It'll be interesting to see what Michigan can do with Florida State's defense. Michigan's guards were not very good against LSU's press at the end of that game, and Florida will press them for 40 minutes. And they'll do it with a lot of guys, and they'll do it with long guys. They make your life miserable just getting it up the floor. Now, if Michigan can take care of the ball, then I think they can win. This is I think if it ends up being a half-court game, Michigan has the advantage. But if Florida State's turning them over, and making life miserable for their guards, and they won't have Isaiah Livers, then I think, it could be Florida State's day. In fact, I picked Florida State in my original bracket because I wasn't sure if Michigan would have Isaiah Livers. I'd just feel better if you had all hands on deck in the backcourt against this team.
It's kind of the Villanova situation, right? And here they are in the Sweet 16 as well. Gillespie's not there, and here they are.
Yeah, they also
look nice.
Took advantage of a 12 and then a 13. They beat a 12 and a 13. They didn't have to play, Purdue, and that's not Villanova's fault, but here they are. Villanova. A team that a lot of people thought wouldn't even win their first game, but they managed to win 2, and now they get to play Baylor and go home because Baylor's that good.
Yeah. All right. Enjoy it. I appreciate you spending some time. Read him every day over on CBSSports.com. His Twitter handle is at JPPalmCBS. Catch you next week, Jerry?
Yep, we'll be around.
All right, always appreciate the time. Thanks for spending some time with us. The great Jerry Palm from CBSSports.com. You can talk about what he had to say when we come back, 505-246-0610 or 888-922-0610.
March, there's madness. But there's also, how about March fitness? Let me tell you about F45 at training. F45 training is a mix of circuit, high-intensity training, and 45-minute classes. And I am enjoying it, and I'm getting ready to take it up a level with their 45-day challenge that is starting this weekend. If you're not able to jump in at this point in time, well, start going to the gym and get ready for the next 45-day challenge that they have. If you're looking for that extra accountability, which is something I definitely need right now. And with the 45-day challenge, not only are you going to get access to every class, they have classes 7 days a week, a new class every single day. You're going to get nutrition advice, help with your daily meal planning, goal tracking, extra motivation and discussion from the trainers that they have available at every single class, and also prizes at the end. so you can show off the work that you're doing at F45. Check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app. They're doing a really good job to make sure that you go in and you're just focusing on the workout. They clean the gym before and after. Yeah, you're still wearing your mask, but guess what? It ain't that bad. I go the paper mask during the workout, and you're not worried about your breathing. You can just focus on getting a good workout done in the 45 minutes that you have. F45training.com. Download the F45 app. You can take a look at it. Sign up for your 7-day free trial. No strings attached. So you can get into the gym, see what it's all about. I'm going to tell you, you're going to like the workouts that they have on deck. They're located at 5920 Holly Northeast, Paseo I-25, so it's really good access from wherever you're coming from in town. Classes 7 days a week, so you can find something that works with your schedule. I'm loving it. You're going to love it too, so check it out, F45training.com. Download the F45 app to sign up and take a look at the classes. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
You could continuously...
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Meet Greg Shamus. He's a State Farm agent, which means he's here to help with all this. But it's easier to just remember he's here to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Greg Shamus at 505-898-3648 today.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Ashley Duran in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
wide open Jaden Phillips. Oh, he shattered him like dirty laundry into a hamper.
That was a Derrick Henry style stiff arm.
Motion, there's Winnikoff. Lane, it looks like Winnikoff's wide open over here, but he's threatened on the play. That was Jaden Brown, and he's going to have to just chuck this one up, and that's a touchdown! Wow! I can't believe he was in position for that play.
So, things are looking good. They'll want to avoid Webskowski on the kick, but it gets to the 10.
To take out of what Jerry said, and I'm not sure all of you are going to agree with this, but you can't just judge a conference, and I think by proxy you cannot just judge a team's year by 2 games of the NCAA tournament. Now you do. Oh, the Pac-12's had a great year. They got 4 teams in the Sweet 16. Big Ten, not so much. But does the body of work count? Now, this year's different because you didn't have as much crossover to judge by. Maybe that makes you feel better about the Mountain West. Maybe it doesn't. And as much as Jerry can say it, I think that's how they're judged.
It's only about March, and that's the challenge of college athletics. I will take you back to the day after Harvard and Laurent Rivard, and people are firing Steve Alford after that. So absolutely, the body of work does not matter when it comes to college basketball. It should. When you take a deep breath and you start moving on, it will. But in this month, it doesn't matter what you did. The Aztecs were absolutely one of the most disappointing teams in the tournament. It had nothing to do with Buddy Bayham. It's the fact that Syracuse
that's not
dropped
what Jerry
that.
said.
Jerry's wrong. You can call him back up. Tell him he's wrong. Buddy Bayham was fantastic, but it was like San Diego State was dribbling the ball down the court. Syracuse drops that zone on them. They're like, whoa! What is this? What is this witchcraft? A zone defense? How dare someone throw a zone defense out there? That's what happened. When you don't score for 20 minutes, it doesn't matter if Buddy Bayham scores 10 points or 28 points. That was the difference in that game.
It was witchcraft, by the way. Freaking Bayheim and it was witchcraft. I don't know. To his point, were they more disappointing than Ohio State? I mean, as disappointing as the Aztecs were, and yeah, they got blued out and they look horrible. You got to say Ohio State's more disappointing than them, right? They got beat by 15.
Looking at the competition, a team that was just 4th in Summit, won their conference tournament to get in. You can sell me on Ohio State being the most disappointing team.
All right. Can I sell you on Texas losing to in-state Little Abilene Christian in a 3-14
And a lot of it, too, though, to me, is that I look at what the team did overall, and I don't feel as bad because I look at – so we're going to discredit the leading scorer in the country that much? Like in Asmus?
Right.
Like, that's a dude that we didn't give enough credit to.
So you want to get blued out of the built by Syracuse, who's got banners, who's Syracuse, who's got an incredible shooter and a Hall of Fame coach, or I mean, you feel better playing a tight game with Abilene Christian? I don't feel good about any of it, by the way. I feel pretty damn miserable about it. I don't know. I mean, Micah,
so
your
we are
team or my alma
absolutely
mater?
ranking. All right, who's
the level
worst
of smell?
Loser?
Yeah. How much does that stink
the biggest
on you?
loser in all this,
Yeah.
not in a good way.
I mean, Micah, is it the Longhorns or the Aztecs? Which loss is worse?
Stinks more.
Oh, the Longhorns.
I think so. I mean, the Aztecs loss is bad. And they got blued out of the build. But you know what? So did Kansas, by the way. Did you see Kansas get run off the damn court by USC? It like that almost made me feel better watching it happen to a program like Kansas, losing to SC and those athletes, and why like it just made me realize, all right, it happens, right? It happens, and I know just watching that USC team that I watched. I'm sorry, that San Diego State team that I watched. Like that wasn't what I watched all year. And it sucks that it happened that day on that stage, but I know that program's better. Like I do. I don't walk away just – it's not a Laurent Rivard feeling to me because at that point, we're like, wow, I thought the program was better. Now, I know San Diego State's better than what I watched. I know Kansas is better than what I saw, right? So as much as that sucked – I still walk away just going, all right, yeah, that was a bad day, bad matchup, bad running into Buddy Bayheim and Kemba, whatever, okay? But that's still a fantastic program, right? And you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you believe that.
I believe it's a good program. March is what lingers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going to sit here and tell me that Abilene Christian is a better program than San Diego State, I'm going to tell you no.
I'm not going to tell you that, but these things matter. And you got to start showing up in March at some point in time.
Well,
the Aztecs have, though. You're right. They've made the run
twice in this decade.
The Aztecs have.
Oral Roberts is not a better program than Texas or San Diego State. They're having a better run in the Sweet 16 in this tournament. What were you
Texas
gonna say?
just keeps losing in the first round.
Now you got a problem there. Yeah, Texas has an issue. Yeah, that is a trend. It's the opening drive on ProView Networks. Look at Jay Pohl. Look at all pensive. At 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
I beg your pardon. Now across the 50. That's going to be an opening house call. He's going all the way, and he's going to go untouched. 90 yards for Lujan, and that is a nightmare start for Clovis.
That young. Nice serve by Moore. Wow. Outstanding work. A middle blocker, Haley Areola.
Gomez again, the motion man. This one instead handed off. And right through the gut, there's a bunch of space. Nice little hop there. Atrisco fans are on their feet, and for good reason, as that's a 41-yard touchdown. Jaden Cowley.
And 11 for the Tigers. Thurman will roll to his right. Throws on the down and out. Caught. Trying to go for the goal line. Leads it in. Touchdown. What a play.
Jaguars, the snap handed off to Cowley. The big man sweeps aside one. Cutting back inside. He turns around the other direction. He's heading this way. And he's got to just beat one more. And he does. Touchdown.
Serve. There's the dig. Boom, the kill shot. Number 6. I tell you what, man, Morgan Torres on the kill shot. 7 seconds left. People are stunned. There's just so much scoring on this game. Will the Hawks be able to respond with the big play? There's a fake on the right side. He's got an open field. Oh my gosh, and just like that, holy cow, amazing. Just like that, the Hawks score. Number 2, Caden Valdez on the right side.
Remember on the puncher. He'll pop this up. The man to receive it is also wearing number 3, Isaiah Garcia. He does catch it off the hop. Nice move by him. He's got some room out there on the right-hand side. He's got to get around his opposite number. He does. Gets one block in. He gets around the last guy. Can he get in? And there's the first points for the Manzano Monarchs. Isaiah Garcia all the way here from his own 45.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No, bad dog.
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
All right. But Jerry said, I don't know, Mike said Jerry's phone sounded nice, Jeff, but Jerry's wrong is what JJ just said. You need to save that one and play it back whenever Jerry's predictions don't come true. Look, all of our predictions don't come true. Just because he's on CBS and gets paid all that money and has makeup in a home studio doesn't mean he's always right now. Ask that dude, who's the reporter Musselman went after? A CBS guy. Did you see that, Eric? I got to find who it was. That said that Eric Musselman, who they just beat? They beat. I will find it for you.
They beat Texas Tech.
They beat Texas Tech, and there was a CBS reporter who said that Texas Tech will beat Arkansas because Chris Beard is a way better coach than Eric Musselman, and he's going to outcoach him, and that's why. And Eric Musselman said, I don't even know who that guy is. His credibility is shot, and went after him in a post game. And it's one of those things where you go out and say stuff like that, and then it comes back and bites you in the butt, and you got to own it. But it was a big deal. I'll find exactly who it was. But I kind of trust Muss. I told you going in. I told you going in that I was a little bit on the Muss bus here. I don't know. It was kind of a big thing. Todd Furman, have you heard of him? Todd Furman of CBS. Do you know who he is?
I think he's
Do you know the
actually
name?
like a one of their betting guys. I think Todd Furman.
All right.
But yeah, and it's predictions, man. It's opinions. It's gonna happen. We're gonna get things right. You're gonna get more things wrong, and then if you got to be able to take it, because at times players, coaches, they hear things, they know what's going on, and every once in a while they'll send a shot back your way, and you just got to deal with it. And my thing is more, I just like to press the buttons of Camp San Diego State over there, because I do think that, yes, if you're looking for the worst performances, I think Ohio State, Texas in that first round would rise above San Diego State, just given the opponent that they played, if you want to give more credit to Syracuse than, say, Oral Roberts or Abilene Christian.
Well, it was a bad performance. It was. There's no getting around it. Yeah, an L's and L counts as much. I mean, I don't know. You want to get blued out like that, or you want to lose by 1 point, like Rutgers. How Rutgers walking away thinking that they should have advanced, or go down, find me a 1 point loss along the way, and you can. An L's and L to your point. Here's what Furman said. Quote, this is Todd Furman of CBS. We're talking about the Arkansas-Texas Tech game. When you look at the head coaches in this game, I think it's one of the biggest mismatches you're going to see in the round of 32. Chris Beard has to be licking his chops knowing Eric Musselman is on the other sidelines, end quote. I didn't know Muss had that bad of a reputation amongst some people. Did you?
No. I'm wondering what it was necessary that I think that Musselman couldn't keep up with Chris Beard.
Afterwards, whoever Muss said, quote, whoever that guy is, I've never heard of him in my entire life, so his credibility is absolutely zero. He went after that. And Muss looked cranky when he was saying it. And maybe that was part of why Muss jumped up on the table. Now, granted, he got Arkansas up to their first Sweet 16 since the Nolan Richardson era in the 80s. It was a big, big win for him and for that program. But I thought Eric had a pretty good reputation. Look, he comes. His dad was a hell of a coach for years. Everywhere, NBA, CBA, college. Eric's run that same route. I mean, he was with the Rapid City Thrillers forever, and he's been on NBA benches. He's been on college benches. He's been everywhere. And he did a great, wouldn't you say, great job at Nevada, turning that thing around. I think he's done a terrific job at Arkansas. It was just one of those things. It really goes back to what the email said. Look, anybody who's in the prediction business, including, by the way, you sitting there with your damn brackets.
Yep.
You don't know any more than Todd Furman. Yeah. You don't know any more than Todd Furman or Jerry Palmer or any of these guys that are on CBS or ESPN or anybody else, or us. We don't know any more than like everybody's just doing their homework and they're guessing. And they're guessing. Like if this was exact, we'd all be at the casino every day figuring it out. We all would. That's the beauty of this. That's why we love it. So to your point on the email, Jerry's going to miss on a prediction again, I promise you. As will I, as will you, as will JJ. Well, maybe not JJ. I can't even predict who our next producer is going to be, for crying out loud.
Well, it is trade deadline day, so maybe we can get a good deal out of it.
So I'm getting traded.
You can't lose you for nothing. We gotta get something.
That's a fair point. Fair point.
Could we send him and a pick for Vital?
I'm at least worth 2 first-rounders, and I have a couple of teams that I don't want to go to.
You're on an expiring contract, man. First of all, you don't have a no-trade clause. You're on a rookie contract. You don't have a no-trade clause. Your contract expires. So, I mean, if we trade you in a second and get Vital...
That's a steal.
Yeah, but then the next team is going to have to sign me for big, so...
They're going to let you go. They're going to let you expire and move on to the business office, and you vanish into the night with Julia and with the guy that was here for a cup of coffee and the guy who sat at... I mean, that's where you're going now, man. I don't even... at least Hoser calls every now and then. Comes by, says hello, makes us think he cares.
Hey, I'll call from my desk.
Are you allowed to listen to the show and call? Get to work! Can't believe Micah's leaving, JJ. I mean, our young Micah's moving on to the world.
I know. How dare he climb up the corporate ladder, get a job that might actually be able to pay bills with.
Make a living, support his family. What the hell? I mean, I just don't even understand how this is happening. All right. Trade deadline in the NBA. Big move for the Nuggets. This is going to put you over the top. See it?
Yes. They're like, hey, we need an Aaron Gordon. Well, how about Kroger brand Aaron Gordon, and we'll just call him JaVale McGee?
I mean, is it even Kroger brand Aaron Gordon? What? I mean, this is like this is called an animal cracker or a cracker. It's a cookie. I mean, this is it's what?
It's a guy on an expiring contract. They have bad interior post defense coming off the bench. He's still in limited minutes, averaging 2.5 blocks per game, and they gave up a second-round pick for him. So it makes
he won a championship. He brings championship experience. How about that? The Nuggets have acquired JaVale McGee from Cleveland. They traded Isaiah Hartenstein and 2 future seconds.
Speaking of NBA trade deadline news, a trade for the Chicago Bulls just announced. Orlando sends Nikola Vucevic and Al-Farouq Amino to Chicago for Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter, and 2 firsts, according to Woj.
And 2 firsts? Wow, that's a lot.
That's not a lot. Vucevic is the best center you don't know about. Dude averages. He'll give you 30, 15, no problem. And that
30 and 15?
Oh, easy. Look up Vooch, man. This dude is a monster.
30 and 15.
30 and 15. He'll get it for you if you need it.
He ain't getting 30.
Undefeated, never lost.
Not if he's up against JaVale McGee. Hell no.
Watch out. Huge. How about Chicago going on? Now you got Zach LaVine, Vucevic. Yeah. Nice little duo. Try to make a playoff push this year. Get a little excitement back in the Bulls' kingdom. Vucevic is a baller. I like it.
All right. No, that's a big move. They sit currently a game and a half out of 8th, and again, there's the play-in tournament, so they feel like they can make a move. The East is jacked. I mean, again, you could go in. I guess somebody would know who the first 3 teams are, but you know the top 6 in the East. Without looking at the standings, could you give me in order the top 6 teams in the East?
The order, no.
Who are they? Who are the teams?
I'd say Indiana's in there. Miami's somewhere in there.
Hornets.
Boston.
Right, you're wrong, JJ. You're wrong. I mean, I can do my best Galletti. You're wrong. Or my best Rocky. You're wrong.
See, there you go.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
I'd be
just
drinking
like
for free. It's Philly, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, which okay, and then it's Charlotte to JJ or to Micah's point. Charlotte, Miami, and the Knicks are 4, 5, and 6. And Atlanta. Atlanta's tied with the Knicks
at all when the Knicks brought him in, but that team plays defense. That's what he does, and that's what keeps him in there. And Julius Randle is fantastic.
And Atlanta is tied with the Knicks for that 6th spot. I mean, it's just what? Yeah, it's all crazy, bro. It's all jacked. Both. I mean, I don't know. That's how it is, but that's the National Basketball Association. Trade deadline day, and you can get in on that. And as trades come in, we'll let you know. 505-246-0610. Watch the show. We're on ProView Networks. You go to ProViewNetworks.com. You can subscribe there and watch all the high school action as well. Comcast Channel 26 every day at 3 o'clock. They rerun our show. And follow JJ on the Twitter. It's _JJ Buck. Fellas, how you feeling? I hope you're feeling great. Spring's coming. You're going to get out and about. But if you're dealing with things like, I don't know, fatigue, hair loss, low T, I got a suggestion for you. You can beat that by calling New Mail. New Mail right here in Albuquerque. Look, if you're regularly tired, you're carrying a few extra pounds even, dealing with erectile dysfunction, call New Mail because they lead the way in helping men deal with these issues and have for years. A testosterone replacement, which utilizes the latest cutting-edge technology from which men all over the country have benefited. They feel better. The number is 505-652-1688. Visit Newmail, NUMALE.com. Fellas, this is convenient and it works. It's right here in Albuquerque. It's comfortable from the first call all the way through the treatment. They guide you through the process. The best part is the results. They are absolutely real. 505-652-1688 is the number. Don't put it off, fellas. Take care of you. Visit Newmail.com or call 505-652-1688 and feel better.
Become a sport.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Art Sandoval in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Meet Greg Shamus. He's a State Farm agent, which means he's here to help with all this. But it's easier to just remember he's here to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Greg Shamus at 505-898-3648 today.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque,
or maybe you won't. We'll see. As we get closer to the 1 o'clock trade deadline, you'll hear trades in the National Basketball Association. NFL news. Does Tevin Coleman do anything for you for the Jets as their main running back? Is that good? It almost feels sneaky good to me, but there's a piece of me that turns a side eye and going, is that good or not? It feels good. It feels cheap, certainly. Is that good for them? Because I think it is.
Why do you think it's sneaky good for the New York Jets?
Why? Because I think when he's healthy, he's really good. Now, can he stay?
When
he stay
was
healthy?
he last healthy?
I think that's always a fair question. When was he healthy? And that's why it's sneaky good. If he stays healthy, and I'm assuming that they did the physical on him, they're only paying him $2 million for a year. So
when was the last veteran running veteran?
How old is he?
That was signed. That was sneaky good.
All right, Kenyon Drake.
Well, he was traded from.
He was traded.
Miami
Yeah,
to
he was
Arizona,
traded.
and I wouldn't consider him necessarily like Tevin Coleman like.
Okay. Was David Johnson any good last year? And he was traded too. I understand that.
Not really.
No. All right. Hey man. Just because it's never happened, it doesn't happen.
No,
all the
it's
time.
just
Doesn't mean
veteran
it can't
running
happen,
backs
by the
don't
way.
really like it's a little different. Like when we were talking, say, the Leonard Fournette deal last year, going to a stacked offense, and then what he did coming on late. But veteran running backs don't really do much for me.
He'll be 28. He has 6 years in the league. That's it. Yeah, I just, it feels like it's sneaky good for them because when he's healthy, and to your point, when is that? And I get it.
It's a San Francisco connection.
Going back to Robert Saleh. Yeah. All right. Edward, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Edward.
Well, gentlemen, my dreams and hopes of James Sweet Feet White didn't sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but stayed with my New England Patriots, and that's a good pickup for them. And I thought for sure he was going to be a guy that can come out of the backfield. Per JJ's point yesterday, he's just a solid player, that can catch the ball in the backfield, and probably one of the top 2 or 3 third down backs in the league, and quite possibly could have won that Super Bowl MVP in the huge Atlanta comeback. I know Micah is winding down. He might be doing double time as I was talking to him this morning. He's already officially ordering nameplates and letterhead and, reserving corporate luncheons. So I'm proud of Micah. I'm going to take him under my wing from afar and just say, hey, I'll be an informal mentor in corporate America for you. And he'll have, just an insurmountable amount of success. So I'm proud of him. Hey, yesterday your stories, what spurred my call today, Jeff, was your officiating stories. They were so good. But it harkens me back to a day about 25 to 30 years ago when Crusher was a basketball official back in the day. And I would do games all the way from youth to former Aggie and Lobo players to at the military bases, at high school at the highest level. And you're right. I mean, if you want to learn how to navigate through human dynamics and psychology, go officiate, because you will have to kind of you encounter so many different issues and different scenarios, and it's very valuable. And it's helped me in my corporate career, actually. Let me say this. People think that it's easier to officiate the younger players. It's quite the contrary. The better the player that you officiate, it actually is easier. And the reason why is if you do their games long enough, you pick up on their tendencies, and you know where their strengths and weaknesses are, and they don't do goofy things on the court, right? They're kind of more capable, and it's just a cleaner game. Quite honestly, and no knock, it was exceedingly difficult to do high school girls basketball games. Not that they weren't good and that it's a good, clean game, but you'd call a jump ball about every fifth possession, and there's just weird things that happen in those games. But I'd walk into the gym, and you have to use psychological poise to diffuse situations. And for whatever reason, because back then, you know, I'm devastatingly handsome now, but back then I was super devastatingly handsome. And they would call me Baywatch. They would say, is Baywatch doing our game today? I don't know how I picked up that moniker, but I remember it distinctly. And these guys, former college players, 6'7", 6'8", and me out there, you know, at 5'10", officiating their game, we'd shoot free throws, and they'd all be barking and yelling and complaining. And I would say, look, guys, I know you guys are all on fat 10-day NBA contracts. I know you guys are big contracts, but I'm the only one out here making money tonight. So just respect the call, and we'll get through this. And it was fun. It was jokingly, and we had a good time. But the tactic that you used, that you referenced yesterday, where you took that little league parent, that's the tactic that they teach you, and you say, look, either you go for your insurmountable complaining, or the team forfeits. And what that is it takes the pressure off you as an official, and it puts it on that individual. And the team, the deflection or the angst turns against you, and goes against the parent and says, look, we need you to get out of here. It's a perfect tactic, Jeff, that you know, they teach you to kind of diffuse situations. But boy, let me tell you, you're right. No one's ever happy, and everybody blames the officials.
Never.
And there's just no win. But it was a great way. And like to your point yesterday, all we were trying to do is make $15 to $25 an hour while in college.
A game.
And, it was a great couple of stories that you shared. But I would encourage. And by the way, the officials that are doing the Pee Wee games all the way for football and baseball, they know the rules and the intricacies of the game 100 times better than the average parent. There's no doubt in my mind, because they get trained, they go to clinics, they learn the nuances of the game, and you got people out there just being knuckleheads complaining, and it's an epidemic. But it really made me think yesterday, and I appreciate you sharing those thoughts. But
I appreciate that.
Thanks for letting me expand it. Yeah, have a great day,
Thanks.
guys.
Yeah, see, the youth officiating thing is crazy. I told you the story as we were going off the air of the All-Star game, and Addie heard that story. She's like, Dad, that she was crazy. I brushed it in as we were getting off the air yesterday, but a couple summers ago, one of her buddies from school was playing in the Little League All-Star game, you know, these tournaments that get, you know, that feed into Williamsport. And so we went out and watched them play. And we were in the stands, and the fans were just, you know, they're on the umpire like they were. And I really was just kind of laughing, listening to some of the stuff. And I didn't say anything until the umpire came over. That's it, no more. I don't want to hear anything else. I don't need your help. And I did. I said, well, you kind of do. And that's it. And he cleared the stands. And everybody's looking at me like, who the hell's that guy? I've been to none of their games. I don't have a kid on there. Who the hell is he? So she's like, Dad, you got us all thrown out. And everybody's over the right field fence watching the game. But I kind of did feel bad for
Came in just in time to create chaos.
I hope for a short second I felt bad, but that's it. All right, 246-0610, 888-922-0610. Your emails come in this morning, Jeff at 610knml.com, or you can send them to JJ at 610knml.com, or even better, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com, which is our new updated email address. All right, I think, is it spring again today? It was winter yesterday. Is it spring now? I think it's spring now. You're going to load up the kids. You're going to load up the dog. You're going to load up the vehicle. You're going to go on a roadie, and then you're going to get back home, and your vehicle's going to be filthy. Outside's going to be nasty. Infield, the inside even worse. On-the-spot automotive detailing should be one of the first calls you make when you get back. You might even have sand and salt from the winter still sitting on the vehicle, damaging the paint. On-the-spot gets rid of all of it, protects your vehicle, and you do not have to take your vehicle anywhere. How can that be, Jeff? Well, On-the-Spot comes to you, wherever, whenever it's convenient for you. They come to your home. They come to your office. And while you're inside working or doing your thing, they're outside working, doing their thing. Give your vehicle a thorough cleaning, inside and out. Detail your vehicle. Sand and salt for the winter, stains, spills, stinks, pet hair. It's all gone. And when you're done, it looks like the day you took it off the lot. Smells like it, feels like it, drives like it. It's wonderful to be in again. They'll spend about an hour, even more, getting it done right. Those car washes you take it to, 7 minutes, and they wave their hand and want you to put money in their hand, and it's just, and then you say, how about this spot? How about that? And it's just not what these guys do. On-the-spot automotive detailing is amazing. Call them at 505-859-2859, 505-859-2859, or visit them online at otsdetailing.com.
Or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Ashley Duran in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Wide open, Jaden Phillips. Oh, he shattered him like dirty laundry into a hamper.
That was a Derrick Henry style stiff arm.
Motion, there's Winnikoff. Lane, it looks like Winnikoff's wide open over here, but he's threatened on the play. That was Jaden Brown, and he's going to have to just chuck this one up, and that's a touchdown! Wow! I can't believe he was in position for that play.
So, things are looking
looking good. They'll want to avoid Webskowski on the kick, but it gets to the 10. Or I beg your pardon. Now across the 50. That's.
We'll get to that. You can send those, Jeff, at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Mike's got a trade. Free agent freezer burn, he said. Jeff Alou, there's that option. I don't think freezer burn's an option, actually. Or the OD can send Micah, Crushed, David, and a second-round caller draft pick to Strauss for Bobcat. Oh, JJ, what do you think? So we send Micah, Edward, David, and a second-round caller pick to be named later for Bobcat. Got options.
I think it's intriguing. It's what are you looking for? That is stability, day in and day out, consistency.
Brian.
But are you going to get that extra pop? Are you going to get that? Yeah. Hey, boom! Look at this tweet I saw regarding this story. It's got to take all those things into consideration.
Yeah, Micah does work. Micah isn't just a pretty face that sits back there, cuts his hair, and puts you on the air. Micah's got music that works. We talk about something, he finds an old commercial. He learns about stuff, finds the old theme song. He's constantly scrolling for breaking news. Like Micah, actually, I don't want to denigrate anybody. Micah's produced this show. He hasn't just pushed buttons on this show. Micah's cared deeply about the content and furthering this show, and has made this show better. And that's and we'll get into the sentimental goodbye Micahs if there ever really is a last day. We'll see.
Surprise! We're actually not letting you go.
Yeah, who knows? You want to push a button and put Don on the radio now? Hey, Don. Good morning. You're on with Micah. What's up, Don?
Hey guys, how's it going this morning?
Good. How you doing, Don?
Doing good, man. Hey, it's going to be sad to see Micah go, but just wish him some luck and hopefully, he excels in all his endeavors. But just to get back to yesterday, we were talking about the officials, and then Edward called in and reminded me of a legendary story that was told about a coach up north. And I wonder if this story is any indication of the type of referee that Baywatch Crusher was. But anyways, there's a story about up north that this older coach was coaching this high school game, and at halftime they'd go in and they'd come back out, and he had instructed one of his players they were going to run a boxing one, and the one was on the referee. So that kid followed the referee all over the court. And so the referee stopped the game, and he came over to the coach, and he says, what are you doing, man? Why do you have that kid following all the court? He said, well, usually when you employ a boxing one, it's because that player that the one's on is killing us. And tonight, you're killing us. You're just absolutely killing us. We got to find a way to stop you. But anyways, officials, they like we were talking yesterday, their humanity gets involved in a lot of things, and but you know what? It's something that I did, and I would never trade it. For the experience was great, and I always had the greatest seat in the house, guys. So hey, have a great day, man.
Thanks, Don. That's great. I heard another. This isn't official related, but I heard a great high school story the other day. I don't know if it's great. JJ, we were going through Espanola the other day, and a person with whom I was driving coached years ago at La Cueva, and he said. Frank Castillo told him the story, and I guess it's true. So early mid-90s, La Cueva went up and played at Espanola and beat him. And this coach, he asked Coach Castillo, why do we have a security guard at the bus? Like, what are we doing? And he says, because we came up here a couple of years ago, and they slashed all the tires on our bus. We couldn't get out of here. Like, every tire, like, not just one, but what does a bus have? Like, I mean, not 18, but probably, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably, 12 tires? Slashed all the tires on the bus. It's high school basketball, man. High school basketball. People want to fight. People slash tires. We played at Jordan High School in Watts when I was a junior, and we had no idea. I mean, it was brutal, dude. The bus took a wrong turn into down the wrong driveway, and we're backing out, and they were throwing bottles at us. Coach told us how gnarly it was going to be, but we didn't know it was gnarly. And then we beat them, and. Yeah, it was uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. It was uncomfortable. Brian, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Brian.
How are you, man?
Good. How you living?
Hey, living all right, dude. It's been a while since I've called, so it's nice to talk to you guys again, man.
Glad you're in.
Hey, but calling in about the reffing and everything. I played soccer in New Mexico for 28 years. Clubs, men's league, and high school ball and stuff. And I coached also. And when I played, it's hard to not talk to the ref, but you'll get yellow carded or red carded if you talk to the ref in soccer, as you guys know. So you got to be careful with that. And then when I coached, I always had a meeting with my parents at the beginning of the season, and I would let them know that I didn't want to hear them saying anything to the ref during our games. I would always tell them, it was part of my beginning of the year speech. I would tell them, hey, I've played soccer for over 20 years. I know mostly the ins and outs of it, and unless any rules have changed as the game went on. And I let the parents know, I need you guys to just cheer your children on, but do not talk to the ref. I talk to the ref, if anything, and when I did talk to the ref, it was always very respectful. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And so, I definitely understand it's frustrating sometimes with refs. They're under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress to make the right call, and then sometimes fans don't understand that. And I think it's very important for fans to understand, especially at the higher levels, like college and professional stuff. Some of these games, especially like NCAA tournament and pro games, they have a lot of implications, So the refs are under a lot of pressure not to make the wrong call, because sometimes the wrong call can mean the way the game goes,
Yeah, they're not trying to screw it up. That's good, Brian. Don't be a stranger. Good to hear you, man. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you next time. Yeah.
It's a hard gig, man. It's a hard gig. Carrie, you're up next. Good morning, Carrie. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello.
Hi, Jeff, JJD. This is Terry, your old-time emailer who I think I inherited Jerry Palm's old phone, so they don't go through anymore. But we're talking about the refereeing. Back in the 70s, I would umpire PAL. The fields were down by the pit, and one time this guy was just getting on me constantly, and so I finally had enough, and I walk over there, and he kind of smiles at me. A gentleman was in a wheelchair, and I kind of just smiled back and said, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do anything to him. So I just took it the rest of the game. But I did apologize to one kid one time because, even as refs, you have bad days. And I told the pitcher one day, I said, son, I just stunk today. But then again, my son, he would do YMCA when he was in Ildo. And he said the younger the kids, the worse the parents. He said, they would have first-grade kids, and, they were just all thinking it was the NBA Finals. They were playing on concrete courts, and why didn't you call traveling? And then, of course, a little opposite than Edward, because I asked him, did any of the parents really get on you? And he just kind of rolled his eyes at me, because when you're 6'5", 250, maybe they're not going to give you so much
They leave you alone a little bit. Yeah, I'll tell you, the younger ones are harder because everything's a violation, right? And so where do you call traveling? And so you call it on their kid, and they're screaming, well, why do you call that one? But you got to let them play the game because they're learning, and the point of it is to let these kids learn how to play. So can you call everything? And JJ, when they're younger, everything's traveling or double dribble or 3 seconds or whatever. It's really hard with the young ones to officiate because where do you draw the line?
Yeah. And then bringing up the past was I was standing in the outfield in the funneling game, and Rudy, who was pitching, got thrown out for a play at the plate and grabbed the ball, slammed it down, got tossed, and we were all looking at each other in the outfield going, did he really just do that? And so even sometimes as we get older, it takes over. But
we're all idiots, man.
Yeah, but on the side note, I'll take the grief from you guys as a loyal KU fan. They were way overseeded. A month ago they would have been a 6 or 7. But I think it's much easier to take a 40-point whooping than that last second shot that rims out. Those you think of what if. But when you just get your butt kicked, you just move on and move on. But that's how it goes. Since 1980, I've seen KU play in 9 Final Fours and win 2 championships, and so some days
they'll be all right. Yeah. All right, Terry, be well. Thanks.
You take care.
JJ, to his point, I'll give you this. As bad as it felt watching San Diego State get run out of the built, can I tell you when they got beat by Man Bun by 1 point against Houston 2 years ago or 3, whatever that was? Remember when Man Bun beat them? Mm-hmm. That felt worse.
It all feels bad.
No,
you
but
have more,
that
you have
felt
more
worse.
time to deal with it.
No, all this time away, relieved from that, and honestly, because it's like, damn, we should have beat them, and look what they did, and they went to this you look at this, you say you're never in the game. Like they beat the crap out of us. It's not like this shot or that play or this, but when Man Bun hit that shot at the end in the Houston game, that one felt worse. So losing by a point felt worse than losing by 20 or 18 or whatever that was. They all suck. I'm not going to tell you one's good.
Because you're holding on hope to the very last second.
Yeah. I never told
away.
you good. Yeah,
Ripped
there's levels
away.
of suckness, and that was it.
It's the theme of the show. We're rating the levels of suckness today. Which loss is the worst loss?
All right, Grady's email's coming up next. It says some things never change. He's not happy with your boy Jerry Palm. That's next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal and ProView Networks.
Wide open, Jaden Phillips. Oh, he shattered him like dirty laundry into a hamper.
That was a Derrick Henry style stiff
Motion, there's Winikoff. Lane, it looks like Winikoff's wide open over here, but he's threatened on the play. That was Jaden Brown, and he's going to have to just chuck this one up, and that's a touchdown! Wow! I can't believe he was in position for that play.
So, things are looking good. They'll want to avoid Webskowski on the kick, but it gets to the 10. Or I beg your pardon. Now across the 50. That's going to be an opening house call. He's going all the way, and he's going to go untouched. 90 yards for Lujan, and that is a nightmare start for Clovis.
Nice serve by Moore. Wow. Outstanding work. Middle blocker, Haley Areola.
Gomez again, the motion man. This one instead handed off. And right through the gut, there's a bunch of space. Nice little hop there. Atrisco fans are on their feet, and for good reason, as that's a 41-yard touchdown. Jaden Cowley.
And 11 for the Tigers. Thurman will roll to his right. Throws on the down and out. Caught. Trying to go for the goal line. Leads it in. Touchdown. What a play.
Jaguars, the snap handed off to Cowley. The big man sweeps aside one, cutting back inside. He turns around the other direction. He's heading this way, and he's got to just beat one more, and he does. Touchdown.
Cover a ball. Barella in the serve. There's a dig. Boom, the kill shot. Number 6. I tell you what, man, Morgan Torres on the kill shot. 7 seconds left. People are stunned. There's just so much scoring on this game. Will the Hawks be able to respond with the big play? There's a fake on the right side. He's got an open field. Oh my gosh, and just like that, holy cow, amazing. Just like that, the Hawks score. Number 2, Caden Valdez on the right side.
Number on the punter. He'll pop this up. The man to receive it is also wearing number 3, Isaiah Garcia. He does catch it off the hop. Nice move by him. He's got some room out there on the right-hand side. He's got to get around his opposite number. He does. Gets one block in. He gets around the last guy. Can he get in? And there's the first points for the Manzano Monarchs. Isaiah Garcia all the way here from his own 45.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the Frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog! Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
This email came in, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. It's from Grady. He says, some things never change. Morning show producer shufflers of the OD in the AM. Just when I was thinking our resident, quote, expert, end quote, had turned a corner, he reminded me that some things never change. His forced confession that the Pac-12 is legit was downright funny. In the most begrudging way, he gave the Pac-12 tournament credit. Listen, Jerry, just because you undervalued and overlooked the Pac-12 during the regular season, it doesn't mean they had a bad regular season. His excuses and qualifications on the conference's success were coming fast and furious. Well, Oregon State didn't play, and UCLA had extra games to get hot, and wah, 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 wah. Call me crazy, but maybe, just maybe, the reason the Pac-12 schools' records weren't stellar was because they really did beat each other up during the regular season, because the conference was legit tough. I know, that narrative is usually exclusively reserved for SEC football, but it just might apply to Pac-12 this season. Don't even get me started on how the Big Ten was overrated and exposed, with Boilermakers front and center in that sham of a conference. It's baby steps, I guess. He did at least get a new phone. Getting ready for the hashtag Drive for 5 as high school hoops gets ready to start up here in the Village, Grady and Santa Fe by way of the Pac-12 conference. It's actually a really good call, or a really good email. Especially in a year where there was no way to evaluate. Look, the Pac-12 teams, I don't know how your eye test tells you that Oregon State, that Oregon, that USC aren't really, really good. That Colorado was a good team, that UCLA has got so much talent. How does your eye test not tell you that?
They tell you that now, but I wasn't going to tell you that first game Oregon State played in the tournament. Because it's the same thing that Georgetown, you thought they were going to be really good and they flopped. You never know with teams that just get hot and win the conference tournament. They're not necessarily in the same discussion.
All right, Oregon State's a different story than those other teams that played
well. Oregon, USC.
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way, I didn't have Oregon in this spot, but I had USC as a Sweet 16
I did too.
Team.
I have USC in the Elite Eight. I had USC in the Elite Eight. All right, Brandon, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline.
Morning, Jeff. How you doing, man?
Good, Brandon. How you living?
I'm doing good. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, but I'm from up north, Espanola area, and I just got a little disturbed with your comment earlier this morning.
What's that?
I mean, it happens everywhere. Espanola is not a bad place. I mean,
no, I didn't say that, man.
I just want to bring that up.
No, that's the story I heard. I'm not selling you. It's exclusively there. That's the story I heard.
Yeah, I know, but you're just putting a bad reputation on Espanola. It's not cool.
All right, well, I apologize for that, Brandon. I appreciate the call, and thanks. That was by no means the intent. My point was to show that's passion for high school basketball, and that's where I heard the story. I'm by no means am I looking to single out Espanola fans, and if someone's got a story similar somewhere else, tell me. That's what I heard. I was actually just up there 2 days ago. Love it up there. And so if that's how that came across, I sincerely apologize. That was not the intent. No, he didn't deny the story, right?
Just sharing stories from what we've heard, referencing some referee troubles this week.
Yeah, that's all. This one's from John. Mr. Palm on college basketball, he was Rocky wrong, he says. Rocky wrong, get it? Rocky, you're wrong. Yeah, Brandon, man, that bums me out if that's how it came across, because that's not that by no means was that the intent, and I didn't even think it could be taken that way. If that's a story, it's a story, right? If it happened there back in the and back in the 90s. I'm not telling you it's a trend. I'm not telling.
30 years ago now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s. It's insane.
Yeah, that by no means was the intent. All right. So by the time we reconvene, are we talking about Kyle Lowry somewhere? We're seeing some moves come through. Is it Philly? Could it really be the Lakers? What could the Lakers package that would make that enticing?
It's similar to what Philadelphia would give up. So that's why they're not out of it, because it's not necessarily Philadelphia is going to have better first-round picks if they're a team that's going to go pretty far in the postseason. And if is it Horton Tucker versus Shake Milton, at that point in time, so it's not necessarily a wow player. You're trying to get assets, and Lowry is. It's an interesting place for him right now, because he is good enough to make a difference on a championship team, but he's also 34 years old, so he's not necessarily going to require the same kind of commitment in terms of acquiring him like you would somewhere else. Now, he actually might be worth more than an Evan Fournier or an Aaron Gordon, players that we could see move. Fournier, by the way, just went to the Boston Celtics. So Orlando is in full-out trade everybody on that roster mode. So if you're looking for a player, call the Magic. They'll be willing to give you something at this point in time. But I think Kyle Lowry is the biggest difference maker that could move at the trade deadline, just because he's set to come in, give you what you need right away to be that third, fourth option on a championship contender.
Do you think Aaron Gordon is his brother. Aaron Gordon gets traded?
Yeah, they traded Vucevic. They just traded Evan Fournier. So that Aaron Gordon's next one.
What's his contract look like? Is it expiring, or is he?
I think he's up after next year.
All right. So you get that piece for another year and a half, and then you get the negotiation piece and the rights to it and the relationship piece, whatever that's worth. So I think it's interesting as we move through this, and who's going to get healthier, and what is it going to mean as they get healthier, because this is relatively relatively, I think it's a big deal. I do, as we move forward. All right, you get NIT tonight. NIT is NIT. If you're in it, it's a big deal. If you're not, you kind of look at it.
Exactly, no, it's a big deal for the Mountain West. Fly the flags.
Well, Colorado State is playing North Carolina State. NC State is a 1.5 favorite. Who do you like?
Let's go Rams.
I like the Rams too.
Ram it.
Memphis and Boise State. It's kind of one of those who wants it more. Mm-hmm. And when I look at this, and it feels like Boise State would have more to gain. It feels like, but they're both disappointed to be here. I might lean Memphis here.
Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for what next excuse is going to be for Boise State, but they've shown up. They had that, was it SMU? They beat early back and forth battle. I'm on in the Mountain West tonight. The Mountain West goes 2-0. Colorado State, Boise State, get the job done. Go to the semifinals.
That'll be there. If you want to watch stuff during the day, you get the World Golf Championship match play, which is going on with all the upsets yesterday. Pool play continues at the Austin Country Club, which is kind of a cool venue to watch, too. And it's just a different format, right? It's not like watching Thursday golf in a stroke play. These guys are going head-to-head in a tournament style, so that's fun for you as well. I want to say thank you to Jerry Palm. He was with us from CBSSports.com on the show today.
And by the way, if you run into any of the ProView guys, feel free to give them a coffee and or a Red Bull.
They are working their backsides off. Check out ProViewNetworks.com and all the games that they are putting on. They're doing up to 8 a day. It's
I don't even know if Jay Pole knows where he is right now.
Jay Pole and Josh, great work as always. Thanks for putting our show on the air. Micah, I'm glad you're still here. It's good to see you. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd after that. Local Sports Talk continues with the Sports Bar this afternoon at 4 with Trulio and Carlisle. We will return with award-winning radio for you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. See you tomorrow.
open. Jaden Phillips. Oh, he shedded him like dirty laundry into a hamper.
That was a Derrick Henry style stiff arm.
Motion, there's Winikoff. Lane, it looks like Winikoff's wide open over here, but he's threatened on the play. That was Jaden Brown, and he's going to have to just chuck this one up, and that's a touchdown! Wow! I can't believe he was in position for that play.
So, things are looking good. They'll want to avoid Webskowski on the kick, but it gets to the 10. Or I beg your pardon. Now across the 50. That's going to be an opening house call. He's going all the way, and he's going to go untouched. 90 yards for Lujan, and that is a nightmare start for Clovis.
That young.
Nice serve by Moore. Wow. Outstanding work. The middle blocker, Haley Areola.
Gomez again, the motion man. This one instead handed off. And right through the gut, there's a bunch of space. Nice little hop there. Etrisco fans are on their feet, and for good reason, as that's a 41-yard touchdown. Jaden Cowley.
And 11 for the Tigers. Sherman will roll to his right. Throws on the down and out. Caught. Trying to go for the goal line. Leads it in. Touchdown. What a play.
Jaguars, the snap handed off to Cowley. The big man sweeps aside one, cutting back inside. He turns around the other direction. He's heading this way, and he's got to just beat one more, and he does. Touchdown.
Cover a ball. Barella in the serve. There's the dig. Boom, the kill shot. Number 6. I tell you what, man, Morgan Torres on the kill shot. 7 seconds left. People are stunned. There's just so much scoring on this game. Will the Hawks be able to respond with a big play?
There's the fake on the right side. He's got an open field. Oh my gosh, and just like that, holy cow, amazing. Just like that, the Hawks score. Number 2, Caden Valdez on the right side.
Number on the punter. He'll pop this up. The man to receive it is also wearing number 3, Isaiah Garcia. He does catch it off the hop. Nice move by him. He's got some room out there on the right-hand side. He's got to get around his opposite number. He does. Gets one block in. He gets around the last guy. Can he get in? And there's the first points for the Monzano Monarchs. Isaiah Garcia all the way here from his own 45.